The amateur game has always been a big part in our lives. It's always the topic of our conversations and it's constantly on our minds on a daily basis.
Although it's not at a professional level, the amateur game is a working class sport at a working class level. Players put their bodies on the line, lives on hold, and have worked their socks off to be the best they can be from the top to the bottom of the amateur game.
We live and breathe football, and the amateur game has given us our best years in football. Both of us have come to the end of our playing days and want to sit and speak to the legends of the game, legends in their world, to sit and listen about the careers and stories of the game we love.
Welcome to our podcast.
3 points, please. So today we have an ex-player, ex-manager. He's a one-man club as a player, as a manager. Totally different story, I'd say. He's had a few. He's a good man for a point and a good football story. Today, Jay Kelly. Welcome, Jay.
Welcome, Jay.
How's it going, lads? All right, yeah. I won't say I haven't seen it in a while. I see it all the time.
It's usually in the quarry, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, I know, we still.
So the football, you're out for a few years now.
About 4 years now, yeah. I think I was only starting on last night. Many years my finish now. Just time passes by so fast. You don't realise how fast you're out. How fast it's gone. So yeah, Ballymun United was your last time, yeah.
When was that, Jay? 4 years?
About 4 seasons ago, yeah. It was the last time I managed to say. Last time I played for was probably Tolka. Well, no, 34's football I played.
34's, yeah.
Fingers United and Gripper Rovers before that.
Are you done?
Done.
Yeah.
Like Alan, what's still in now. The young playing, he's with Kevin's now, and no, I enjoy that. We do that end of things now. I still like going to watch games, and obviously Fingers United on my doorstep. So when I'm not doing my hangover, I'd crawl out of bed. They play too well, you know.
It's too weird.
We don't play the Arsenal, do Friday nights.
Exactly, yeah.
Even if it was 12, it'd be alright, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That extra hour.
I still go to see the odd Friday night game now, but look, when you're over after a few years, it's hard to go out and watch games and without, I wouldn't say giving out, but without picking on things and saying, "Jeez, that wouldn't happen when we played." Or that everyone has a different take on it, you know what I mean? Everyone thinks when they played or managed, it was a better standard.
Yeah, we're the same ourselves, yeah. We're the same ourselves, yeah.
So like you go to watch games now and you're like, Jesus, that's fucking bad, isn't it? No, but
So
sorry for the coaching, lads. We coach all the time, so we never get a lot of coaching today.
Don't worry.
so the fucking I. But yeah, so the hardships of management though, it's probably the changing of the guard, would you say, where the young lads coming through?
I
And
would say it was the hardships. The hardest part is probably, like, I work for myself, so the hardest part is you leaving a job early to get the training, to get set up with your coach, make sure you're there early, and like, you can't be late if you're the manager. So then, if players are not bothered to turn up and you're getting like phone calls 5-10 minutes before training, the coach has numbers set up, like, you know, with yourselves,
yeah,
to do a session. And what happens is the numbers don't turn up, the session changes, and then everything changes at the end of that. Then you're bringing certain time players involved in the games and that, and the standards are not the same. So then you get frustrated. And then you have an arc with the lads and all. And look, it happens with every club. Whether they're getting paid, not getting paid, whether it's semi-professional or professional, blokes will pull up with injuries all the time and numbers change. But it's just frustrating more than that.
it's usually cold night and it's Champions League, or Liverpool playing Champions League. You're getting the phone call, yeah.
Well, I haven't seen United.
And you fucking not leaving the world, so. But you know what the excuse is, you just can't pull them on it because,
yeah,
for whatever reason.
and you know what? It's usually the best players.
Yeah.
The laziest
Yeah,
players.
because you know the other way.
It's usually the best players. And then, like, they're thinking you're going to find it hard to drop them because, like, you're not going to drop me. Like, I'm one of the outstanding players that you have. So, like, it's usually the truth because the squad you have,
Yeah.
like, dictates it.
Your best player.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But you're hoping
list.
they put the effort in, because if they put the effort in, then the lesser players are learning after, but they're also going to turn up training all the time. That's the hardest part, yeah.
It can be dinting in the squad, can't it, when the top players aren't
Yeah,
there?
definitely, because like it's like if you're in a dressing room and you're giving out to say one of the lesser players, if you want to call him, all he has to do is point at the man and say, like, he's not training. You don't open your mouth to him.
Yeah.
Like, so you have to even it out at times as well. Like, and like if the good players not have a good game, you have to let them know. If you don't let them know, well then they're dictating to you. So like, you must well not be there.
But then you drop him, and then they're like a bad smell going down the dressing room. Then it's fuck this and fuck that.
You
And,
take them off.
yeah,
The best players, you take them off.
you start naming shame people. Will we?
We will. Watch.
No, you get us taking off here.
Oh, no, it'll go there. No, that's what happens. But so look, you've done me time.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your final decision like? Would nothing entice you back now, or would
No,
it's
it's
job?
too long now. Like, I don't know what the right job would be. I was up with a couple of things. Only probably 2 years ago. But I just said no straight away on the phone. I didn't even. They just said, "Do you want to come over and talk to the committee and all?" And it was no. I just said no. I'm not interested. And the Ballymoon job, in all fairness, I love the lads born and bred in Ballymoon. I didn't want the Ballymoon job. I wanted out football, and I had made the mind up after Verona. That was it. But I got a phone call off Hat Daly to go over and have a chat. And in my mind, there was to have a chat with. They weren't long on the list of saying that they wanted me to show a few names at them and sit down with them and talk about it. And
Could have avoided your own or something.
yeah, that was the not to stay with the club, but just that night, just to have a chat with them. So we had to over, and it was like this. We had to speak for an hour, and then Bernard and
Okay, I'll take it.
yeah, it says to me him.
Here's the bar one.
But this we actually want you to take the job, and like just was that saying the surround,
Yeah.
the whole lot. The setup I want to have is great. Like all the missing is the lights.
Yeah, I think they're at the end of plans, aren't they?
Then at the end, I didn't realise that the squad was so small that he had. So that was a tough job then to take over. So
You're trying to usually trying to pull the post lads in that you've known, but you're probably past that time at that stage, yeah.
And it was well into the league. This was coming up to Christmas.
So it's happy through the season, was it?
Oh, halfway through.
It's even much.
So I was in bottom 3 or bottom 2.
And that was the fourth. Was that the fourth season? And
There was Alan Rooney was the manager.
Yeah.
Looks the top.
So Daz was there at that stage, and
Well, Daz had left as well.
And Higgins there, was he?
First morning, I asked for a meet with the players on the Sunday morning, and I think it was 7 players done it. And they said we had first him, Peter Riley, Danny Murphy, and a few others. Shane, and that's lads that are still involved at the club, but they were the only players there. Me and Glenn Candle, what we had to do. So the right away, you're on the back foot then, you know what I mean? So you're on the phone straight away, and they're even ringing managers and saying like, who you're not playing that you think could do a job just to keep us in the league. And basically that's what we done then. We just scouted around. Glenn's a great coach as well, so I helped them. Lads like a bit of training and a good training. No, that's all football, and it's not running, and you're just not. Now, in saying that, my thing would be it's old school, like where fitness wins games. Like you have the ability to play in that league, but you're not fit. You're not going to win. So you have to put the effort in to get fit and do the hard graft. Then the results will come.
Definitely, yeah. That's why it still should be that, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the basis of football,
yeah.
Isn't it?
So, Ballymun lads grown up. So take us back, Jay, to where it starts.
Well, first of all, when you started like the rest of us, when communities are the same, right? So like when you got into school and you threw your bag in and someone shouted, there was a match going on in the park, that was it, you're gone. Straight to the park, grab your boots. We used to jump the railings into Pumptree Park, and we would play the 4-story flats. All the lads be looking out the window, you just give them the whistle down. And it was just a bat of strong jackets down, there was no going. And threw jackets down and just bashed each other for hours on end.
Feddy.
But like, all became great mates then, and it was just, we are talking 10, 11 and all. But then, what happened was, a couple of the lads that played, a couple of mates, they said, we should get a team together. So, just there with the Towers, I think they drank the Towers, they were taught that Shangan Celtic had a senior team, and there was no value in United schoolboy teams, there was no value in town schoolboy teams at their age.
Yeah.
So you just threw a team together called the Shangan Celtic. We had to go down to Shangan and play every Saturday. Like, some of the players that played, like, were very good, but like, never pushed themselves on or never gave it a real go. It was just get out and play on a Saturday with your mates, and that was the whole thing. I think we did the North Dublin League or something like that, but like the DDSL at the time was probably still the league to play in, but we didn't North League, and we didn't care, just getting out every week.
And how long you with them for?
We started early. I think it was 14, 4 or 4 days maybe. Like at that stage as well, like there's 3 of us got called into the league, represented the North Dublin League, played Northern Ireland, and we was one of the lads. And what happened then off the back of that was we played Northern Ireland in Port Marriage Field. We beat them 1-0 and I scored. I didn't always play right for us. Then so played something that failed. But I scored that day, and a few weeks later we went up to North and played them, and they beat us 2-1. But like at the time up in the North, and all, that was when the troubles were there, and all, there was a helicopter constantly over the pitch where we played and all, and they beat us 2-1. But I scored up there as well. Well, I ended up getting, I think it was 13 then, it was 14 maybe. But brought it to Ireland squads off the back of that.
From the NDSL?
Squads, you were brought out to Lewis Celtic to play like, it's just like throwing matches or training matches.
Yeah.
Like, you were brought out there to Lewis Celtic, and it must be brought out 3 or 4 times. But at the end, you get brought out there, right, and it's more like you're making up the numbers. It's like probably the way the Dublin Gaelic team is now. You have a squad of 30 players, but only 20 of them are never going to do one. But at their age level at that time, there was a whole farm team, and they were just like, they end up in 5 years unbeaten.
Yeah.
So when I went out to them over the training sessions, there was 8 or 9 of them in that dressing room that were already picked for the Ireland team.
Yeah.
So you had no chance. There was no help to have the little scrawny hump from Shangan playing the North Dublin League was going to get into the Ireland setup. But I was still brought out, like as I said, 4 or 5 times. But I knew in my heart of hearts that wasn't going to go anywhere. But my dad kept on at me, kept on me, look, you have to leave Shangan, you have to leave Shangan. Well, I didn't for a few years, but then again, I ended up Tolka Rovers up the door all the time, and I just decided to set me down, right, I'll go. So I went to Tolka Rovers.
Was the Premier at that stage, wasn't he?
A schoolboy.
Schoolboy, you was, yeah.
Yeah, it was 14 when I went down now, 14 and a half or whatever. But went there and just never left. It was just there. It was the club for me. It was just, we got to play on the main pitch a few times, and which actually, like when I was a kid, my dad used to bring to all the matches at A level, like Leicester senior level. Well, it was more the AUL at the time. The AUL was the top league. They had Luke Francis, Cherry Orchard, but Tolka Rovers were in it. But Bexbury were the team that my dad would have brought me to see. A couple of the youngers played, and they were very good. But the standards at that time, remind you, League One, like, you got the Junior Cup finals, there was 5,000 people at Tolka Park. You got up the matches on a Sunday morning, like, my dad used to put me on his shoulders, and the biscuit tin would be passed around. There'd be 4 people deep running around the whole ground. The biscuit tin was passed around to throw coins in, because you didn't get charged at the gate. So, like, that tin went around, just hide the referees and hide the subs and all like that.
Sticky fingers back then.
Love it again, like, watching them lads playing.
Yeah.
For me, back then, it was just in order of them to,
Yeah.
for me, I just thought they were the best thing ever. Like, I didn't go to many League One games. That was the
Where
start.
did the Vegsbury play then?
Or they were like travellers. They played everywhere. Do you remember the one with the new bridge there, Common's Bridge, the deaf and dumbs on the right hand side?
Yeah.
There used to be a pitch in there. I remember them playing there all the time. And they eventually got the Browns.
Skill.
There, yeah, but that was on in recent years. They played in a lot of different pitches. But like, they were the team at the time. So that was gave me the boost for the football then.
Yeah.
Got the end, what I loved it.
So we're down to Tolka Rovers. I said, was that Premier football now? We were playing at the highest level.
No, it was the league below Premier.
It was a bit of a step up though from NDSL.
It was on for a B team as well, in as well.
Was it, yeah.
No, I loved it. No, it didn't feel like a step up at all. I thought I could have played the Premier, but it was either just stay with Tolka and move on again. And I was never into one for, like, I was probably too loyal at times, but I was never into moving around. It was either I left Shangan, went to Tolka, and that was it.
That was you, yeah.
Yeah, I was happy with them. We fought our way into the Premier then. We were into Premier. But at that stage when you began, I think we'd been 17s. That home fair team, most of them had gone away to England and all. Like those Mark Kenny and Gary Kelly and all. Like some of these came Irish international playing World Cups and all.
It's crazy, yeah.
They were unbelievable. Eddie from Boxall was from Ballymoon, the goalkeeper. Like, I knew him well, and he used to be pushing me on us all the time, saying, like, you should move on. Like, no, he never said come down the home fair. He'd say move on, better standards all the time when I was with Shangan, but he was unreal. Like, Jack Charlton used to talk about him, like just off the cuff, or Eddie should make it, Eddie with this and Eddie with that, and went to Leeds, Eddie that he was quality.
And how come we never pushed on though?
He ended up having a great few years and them joined.
maybe that could be alright.
Back from Leeds, he had a falling out with Howard Wilkinson, I think was manager. Had a falling out with him.
Was he young when he came back?
Yeah, he ended up playing for Dundalk for years. He saved a penalty.
He had a league or world career.
Yeah, he played for Dundalk for years, yeah. He saved the penalty of Eric Cantona in pre-season. That's his big claim. I don't think Cantona missed him many penalties. So Eddie said so. You scored walk from Ballywall, he's head in the air, you know. But you know, he sounds a penalty. Just got himself a bit of trouble later on.
So what age did you go and start tipping into the first team?
See, Tolka at the time had...
Were they AUL at this time, Jay?
Yeah. The first team or Premier A, the second team or Premier B. So you never get promoted. You couldn't have two teams in the same league. And then there was a 19s league.
Sorry, just before you go forward now, can't have that now. Sure you can't. They have to be, like, say for instance, if it's intermediate football, junior football, you couldn't have, like, English, you couldn't have two intermediate teams. Sure you can't. The way they can go up to, like, senior one and stay there because they can't get promoted. Because I remember, but I think the Valley might have had, I don't know, was it the two Sheriffs? Did Sheriff have a Premier A, a team Premier B?
I think we have more decent.
Surely that's not allowed now, is it?
I wouldn't think so. Like, where do you... Like, if the Premier...
I haven't seen it anyway.
Second team started in Division 3A and keep getting promoted you still can't get into the top league, you know?
Yeah.
So you're probably right. You probably can't have two intermediate teams. You need the main team and the junior team.
Yeah.
Like, we did not dance team then as well, but I think they broke up then. So we went from 8 teams, and the manager, Paddy Daly, he was very good. He's very good with us, like, that's the skill manager. But he wanted to keep us together then. So we went to the league, and I went to the committee and asked him, could he make a tour team? So he made a tour team in the end. But not all the players then were happy enough to play in the leagues that the tour team was put into. So a lot of them left. But then he just pulled players out, maybe like senior players. There's some players that like Mark McMahon and that, like Dave McAvoy, that should be playing first team football with Tolka Rovers. But Dave was a bouncer in Rumours in town. So like he couldn't commit to playing Sundays mornings. But yeah, and he couldn't commit to playing Sunday at 2 o'clock for the first team. But yeah, he'd come and play for us on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Sometimes he used to come straight to from the bike and play the games. Mark McMahon was a smash player. He should have been playing first day football, Mick Flanagan. But they all decided then, no, we played by this team, by Paddy Daber. Look, we went 2 years then, never beaten. We won 2 leagues and 3 cups. But the third cup we won was I forget what it was called, but it was a cup that the AUL brought in that if you were in the top 4 at the same time of the season in any league, all the top 4 teams could put into one cup.
Right.
So, Chandler told us about it.
I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at one stage, Tolka's second team played the first team before,
Right.
and John would have been playing against Keeholder. I think there was a bit on this there, but there was but we won that cup, and what happened was we got a few decent teams from Premier A, and we were only playing like Division 3 Sunday or something like that. But we got the few Premier teams. We got Carlock to the quarterfinals. They had beat Air Force team 3-1 in the round 4. We got them to the quarterfinals. Oh, sorry, they got them to the quarterfinals. We got them to the semi-finals. So they beat Air Force team 3-1, and we beat them 8-1 in the semi-final.
I say they're rubbing their hands together when you seen us before the game.
Then on the other, ball getting played in the AUL, and the other semi-finals get played was Kevin's Premier A team, who were the league champions, who had Bill Kenny and Wilkes and all the smasher players that they had. They were all the junior internationals. They played the other semi-final. And when we beat Carlock players were coming to us and saying, "Oh, the league just beat us. You have them in the final." We ended up beating them at penalties.
Did you say?
It was all over the newspaper the week before. They hardly used to do a thing on a Monday or Tuesday. The strike or yoke. It was all over the news. All over the week before. Kevin's are going, the Tangerine Dream, going for the treble. They'd won the league and the Heineken Cup or something. So this was the third thing. We ended up beating them penalties then.
Said you were sick.
Oh, that's big. But the committee and none of the first-day players turned up that final to watch us. So we were sort of look down on it. We were getting a lot of praise off people. And the first team maybe...
There was a bit of jealousy though from them, obviously, was it?
It was a bit. I wouldn't say from all the players, but maybe Manchester was not at the time. It probably was, yeah.
And makes it harder for them to pick you, and if the jealous of you.
It was somebody like myself and one of the others that would make themselves available to play first-day football, or even play second-day football.
And the rest of the boys wouldn't?
No, they just didn't want to play first-day football.
Makes you feel like two separate clubs then, if that's...
If that was the case,
yeah.
And what happened then was, so we went 2 years unbeaten, and we stopped at the end of the season. When we beat Kevin's, and then we got a phone call to say our team was gone. They brought a rule in the club that if you didn't play for the second team or the first team, you weren't allowed to play for the third team. So you weren't allowed to play for the club then. So Paddy Daly, the manager, said, well, look, pull the plug. She says, I'm not.
Had to pull it then.
I'm not sticking around with that. So like, from going 2 years unbeaten and winning everything.
So they basically wanted just to stay playing for the third team, and when they needed just bring us to the Saturday team, first team,
and it was
just didn't. That was it. You weren't playing. You weren't allowed to play for the club.
So just went patient then. Everyone went offside and done their own thing then. Well,
who was your manager then at the top for the third team?
Paddy Daly.
And who was the first team manager?
At the time, I think it was John O'Casey.
John, and then...
And the second team manager was Dermot O'Connor.
Dermot was managing the Saturday team, is he? Yeah.
Well, no, even the Saturday team, the Premier B.
Right, so the second team, yeah.
So
was Frank Cooke about then?
Yeah, Cooke was the main man. Not man's wise. Cooke was just the main man of the club. That's what the club's called, Frank Cooke.
Yeah.
Club.
And was the facilities there back then?
Yes.
Yes.
There's no leach. There was a smaller bar. The extension downstairs and all, that wasn't them doing at the balcony and all. That was,
yeah. It only came in when you were there. What first was it? The lights. You were the first. You would have been the first manager for the lights, would you?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. The balcony, the whole lot, all that was all more old school.
I remember it. Yeah. I remember it before the balcony.
Yeah. It was still a great pitch and a great. Even the little stand. When you were a kid and you went in that pitch and you seen the little stand and you thought
you were in a stadium. Yeah.
The small Tolka Park or something.
Of course, yeah.
So
you stuck around then when the team disbanded?
I stuck around then and I played. John ended up getting sacked. I think Paddy Mulligan came in after John, was it? Paddy Mulligan used to play with Chelsea. He had so many caps for running, like 60 odd caps or whatever. But he came in then and he tried to keep a few of the third team players now. Like Roberts, maybe the first thing he done, he brought us up to Johnstown Park for the first training session. And he just set cones up like 40 yards apart just to do shuttles. Like we're all looking at it, this can't be real. Like. And he said, do a 50 times sprinting. So we go, this man has had to be in England, right? We're learning so many times. Won a cup when there's cup with Chelsea. We played with West Brom, Crystal Palace. Sure, you know it's more than this. And he didn't.
No.
He just ran us. And like after like to make it 30 runs, like he jumped in beside me and started running. And like he's beat me to the runs, but like 20 runs in. He said, if you can fucking page it and all. I'm looking at him, sort of bleeding clown with you. Like, but then 3 of the lads that played for the second or the third team at the time that was disbanded, they had turned up to give him a goal. So we'll give it a go and see what happens. They just walked off, picked their gear up, and they're walking out of the park and he runs at them. Where do you think you are going? You all just talk, we're going off the finger, have a point, this big shite, big madness.
But you think you're at a higher level there, what?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like what he was taught back in the day. Like,
well, maybe he's trying to test us and break us down, or was that all the sessions?
No, I think I think some of the senior players, like Victor John Haddon, would have went to the committee and said, look, this can't be like how you do it. Like, you know, Johnny Pouch was there and so smashing players, like, but they said, like, there's no way people don't hang around and do these training sessions. So I think they must have went to the committee and said, look, you're going to have to get someone in. And I think Richie Train from Ballymun, he's just a smashing coach as well. He came in and took over the sessions there. They got a bit better then.
So he came in as the manager and the coach. He was on his own, was he?
He was on his own, yeah.
Right, so
he wanted all of that.
Yeah.
He didn't want to share.
As it was, yeah.
To pay a coach or to pay someone else to come in with him, so he just wanted himself.
We must have come to an agreement with the club there to bring someone in. you fixed him up or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
Well, so again,
He didn't last long, obviously, no?
he lasted, I think, a season. But,
Oh, did he, yeah?
a season. I think we left the Junior Cup semi-final. But the players were there with the full team. It was just a matter of could they get someone in to get us over the line. And and if you look at the history of Tolka Rovers, like they're like the spores of the Premiership. Like Tolka had, including me, teams. Tolka had smashing teams and having it over the line.
At times, like, would have been touching for being the best team in the league at
It
stages.
was the best team was the league.
I think them a lot sometime them lot yesterday said it was 88 or 89 was the last one you won Atten.
No, Jay won the Metro. And
I mean Atten, like the intermediates Atten.
a league, like an
League.
league.
Won the league to get into the top league. Where we got put into that. It's that at the time of Paddy Wingham, that was still the AUL. So we got to the Junior Cup semi-final and got beaten in Waterford. Boy Waterford, Bowers beat us 1-0. And
This the FAI Junior Cup?
yeah. After that then he got the bullet. Who came in after him? It was that many managers down there, I'm not sure. It was Derek Sullivan came in after him. He'd won the Junior Cup with Kivara Arts. So Kilcock sort of went off after the successful managers, you know, came back. Well, I don't know where Paddy Mulligan came from, but he went after successful managers after that, like thinking that will get us across the line. But there was always something there, I don't know whether it was the influx of players coming and going all the time. That like there was never a steady 6 or 7 years of the same players just getting better and better and just win a league and then like you win a league, you know how happens. Like,
The rest will come, yeah.
But like Derek Sullivan came in then and there was something similar, like training was now wasn't bad, but he brought in a few very good players, Pacquiao and Tolka Rovers had even though we weren't in the leagues now, he always had 6 or 7 junior internationals in the team. Like the guys still only go 5 to 10 at the time then, and like those smashing players there. Like Robbie Roy was a very good player as well. And great players there, but again, the next manager would be in, he'd bring his own players in. His own players then had to mix within, and he was leaving out players that we thought probably, in my mind, were too good to be left out for his players. But he was the manager, and he got us to a semi-final of the Junior Cup, and we got beat by Fairview round. In Fairview.
So I was surprised, mate. Never the right.
That was the whole thing, that the sports thing, yeah. And like even going down there, Barry Flynn that used to play for Port Marnock, he had gone to
Fairview, yeah.
He walked out with a Shannon.
He walked down there, yeah.
And like he was a very good player, like, and he was playing centre midfield. And the only player that I thought the team that could take him out of the game was Glenn Humphreys. Glenn Humphreys senior. Glenn was a little terrier. Glenn there, get on the ball, do his stuff, and then he take the best player over. I don't mean like back him over. Taking out the game as in like marking out the game.
Yeah.
And Derek Sullivan had dipped on years. He had brought this player in. I won't say his name, but he brought this player in and he fancied him because he brought him in. So he played him. Barry Flynn said was in the bar at us. That was the handiest 90 minutes I had. And then Humphreys just pulled his bleeding hair out. But he was right. He was right. Glenn should have played because
you knew that's his strength. That's his strength, yeah.
That was Glenn's game, yeah. And I scored in that game as well.
From right forward.
Anna Carroll, Glenn's wife, are good friends. And the sport is supposed to Nevers. So the football big coach. It was a great crowd at the match. There could have been a few thousand was there. And they were beating us 1-0. And I cut him side in the right forward. Hit a ball with left foot. I went top corner. But, one of the season I'd probably get. But after the match was over, anyway, we got beat. And next time, 2-1. After the match was over, we were in the bar. And that's what I went off the hand. She said, that was pretty unlucky being 2-1. I said, watch Click me go. They're looking at the head now. Gordon Carroll had went down, went in the pub, and stayed there for the whole match.
Didn't watch
it. And she pretended to see the goal gone up, really great goal.
Great goal, yeah.
She's really annoying bitch.
Couldn't she tell you 20 years later?
Seen it in her eyes.
So when did the transition come for you, Jay, from coming from a midfielder fall back into right full? Because look, I never seen you play, but from what I heard of you being such a solid and good, decent right full from
It was the
all the years.
AUL Youths. It was the under 18s AUL Youths. The manager, I forget his name. He had seen me playing for Tolka's 19s, and he said that the manager of the 19s, Jay, I'd love to have him in the 18 Youths. It turned out then I was only playing the 18s, was just doing the 19s a favour. And then he brought me into the squad. But the air manager of the 18s, Paddy Daly, told me I was a better right full than I was a centre midfielder. So he played me.
Your manager said?
Yeah, he played me right full for the
But he'd obviously play you in the middle,
yeah.
And he had you then, yeah.
Then I just felt the youths went into senior football, and
That's the end of it, yeah.
well, Paddy Mulligan, though, in fairness to him, he played me centre midfield. Like,
What sort of player were you in the midfield? The 6 or?
I was probably more like a box to box, but it wouldn't have been like I played with Jolly Pouches and Peter Timmins and all the people that were real neat on the ball, you know, they would get stuck in. I knew where I stood.
Yeah.
I knew my standards, and I knew get stuck in, do a lot of running, break things down.
Just give it to someone else.
A bit like Robbie O'Reilly. Robbie's the same. Get a goal hidden there. Like Robbie's very good at breaking the line, get goals as well. He was, but that was his game. There was better players in and around us that
Go play football.
passing,
Yeah.
you know. Say play football.
No, I don't mean when they play football, but it's probably their job to go what players or take players on. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone knows
That's what makes a team, though. You know, of bits of parts of everything.
you have to know where you stand. If you don't, and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, well, you won't be playing for though. So you know where you stand and you do your job. You know that.
That's the main thing. Isn't it?
Yeah, unlike you.
So you knew that was
When he played centre half, running out and trying to run the length of the pitch.
I was going to say in the intro, you actually managed me and all, didn't you? At some stage, yeah.
Verona?
You managed me, Verona, and Tolka.
Me and Robbie managed to have a time for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you spend full season?
About 6 months, and then I said, Ryan J, I'm leaving. He's like, okay, see ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for a couple of months.
But I went to Verona there.
That's right, yeah.
I was a legend up in Verona.
Cars in the bar.
I have a statue outside there.
I think he loved it up there because I'd throw from centre half if you were losing, which was very old, up the centre forward, and he'd grab you now a goal here. He put his head where the wall, where your foot should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Good time.
with the AOL and Tolka back then, Jay, are you successful in any way before you make the transition to Leinster Senior League?
That would have been my biggest regret to say for the club. I think we jumped ship too early. But they had got the ability already that I'm sure it was Charlie Cattell wanted Tolka Rovers and the ground. He wanted to make everything in Leinster Senior football. That's sort of standard.
Was Charlie Cattell a part of the Leinster Senior League?
Yeah.
He was.
So like him and obviously Tolka's community got together and met. Probably Doc Laura probably organised as well. But they would have got together and had a meeting and said, look, the way things are going to the AUL, the standard is not the same now as the Leinster Senior. It started to turn, which was in fairness. So
how do you think that happens? Like how does it diminish, and how is the Leinster Senior League getting better and better? Is it facilities and structure and people are saying, look, let's.
It's probably the committee of each league as well, how much they push the standards. Because like the Leinster Senior wanted to get the League of Ireland standards as far as we could see. So what they done was they scouted.
That was probably their aspirations. Yeah.
They scouted the best clubs,
best infrastructure.
Teams. Yeah. So like if you had, like, no offence to Valley Park, so Valley Park would always a great Premier 8 team, but they're playing up in the bleeding Corporation pitch.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be pushing to get them in because that's not going to lift the standard of the league.
Of course.
So what they were looking for was private pitches. And the whole thing with at start was, we were told was, it's going to be only private pitches playing the top league. But as it was getting bigger then, they knew down the road that you weren't going to get to take AUL teams and put them straight into the top league because obviously that would be unfair to the teams that were in the top league. or the team that was, or the league that needed.
Because they're obviously fighting all the season to get there, yeah.
So Tolka got a bit of preference in that way, because we were put into the senior Division 1, which is only the league below the top league.
Really, yeah.
So like all the AOL teams that came after that were put like
5 down.
they put junior football, but
Yeah, you get put in the junior now, yeah.
yeah, like the class that dominated the AOL for years, then there's a senior had to fight their way all up the top. Sheriff the same, but it's probably too late in the day for Sheriff because most of their players retired at the same age or finished at the same age. So like,
I think a lot of them went in around that time when they all moved. I think a few of them went then.
yeah, but see what didn't annoy me, but I've thought about it since. Like, I was only young, so I didn't like. I knew going to Leicester City, I was going to be playing it for a long time. But leaving as a club before you dominate, I thought was a mistake. And I thought in football, everything goes in circles. So we thought Tolka's time will come. You just have to bear with it, and when you get there, as I said before, when you get there, you have to stick at it and stay there, and you'll get a good 4 or 5 years out of it. That's the way I think football works. Like, you'll see it, a team dominate like Leicester did, then Sheriff came along. Before that, when I was playing, it was Kevin's. Before Kevin's, I could have need more. Cherry Orchard, were in the AUL. Like, there was teams that there's always a circle.
3 or 4 years, as you said, yeah.
And I just thought, at the time, Tolka was maybe getting there. We had a great squad, and at this stage, I think, when we moved, I think Mick McLeod was the manager. And
A handful of internationals back then, would you have had, Jay?
yeah, like every year there was internationals. Like Keegan was international, John Howard was international, Johnny Couch was international, Davy Strong was an international, James McCarthy was with us for a while as an international, Greg Stafford was an international. Like, these players like knew what to do, they knew what they had to do on the pitch. It was just always a matter of, as I said, that as you said, the bridesmaids. It's getting over the line in football, because like when you get over the line, then like Liverpool, you talk about the Premiership, if they're getting over the line here, it could go and dominate for a couple of years. But then it'll happen again. Arsenal come in and like hopefully United come back at some stage. But that's the way it works in football, as you know yourself. So we were waiting for your turn, and before you get your turn, I thought we jumped ship too early, and then you jump ship, you're starting again in the new league. So then you have to start that new league and wait your turn again. And so we went the first year in the Division 1. We came third in our first season. Second season, Dublin Bus full. I think Shannon might have been involved with Dublin Bus at the time. Gary Matthews was the manager. They won it, and ourselves and Tegnor, only two went up. Ourselves and Tegnor finished on the same amount of points, same goals, everything. So we had to have a playoff, and they beat us 2-1.
This is our new season, isn't it?
No, this was our second season. Like, fourth season came third. Second season got beaten in the playoff. A third year then, we had to go and win it. So we won it with a couple of games in hand.
Did you lose a few players though, because the fourth season you didn't get the top level, second season again?
Yeah, but every year you lose players and
new ones come in, yeah. But as the likes of Joey Pouch and Hannah, they all stuck around. The old faithful stuck around.
Hannah was still there. There. Keto had left. He went to Belgrove. But we got a few players in that were Paul McGee, and Maggie,
yeah.
Back from, I think he came back from Linfield. He played with Pats for 1 or 2 games. Then he came to us, because Maggie was a Tolka Rovers schoolboy. So Maggie came to us. Maggie was called faulty. And
he's told me.
Absolutely. He'll definitely tell you, yeah.
No, you're not.
No, 100% not.
You only have to talk to Maggie for 2 minutes, he tells you, Google me. Google me.
Hey, pal.
Mag was feeling chair. But then we won the league that year, and I think we 2 or 3 games left. We'd go to Park Villa on a Wednesday night. Of course, we won the league. Then. Frank Hughes said to us, like, where do you want to go? Do you want to go on a trip? Like, we pay for everything. So we were thinking, like, you're going to say something like Galway, or maybe if we're lucky, like Liverpool or Newcastle or something like. So we just couple of senior players just back down. And Kilt was very cute. We just sitting there having his point on a Sunday, and we sat down beside him and says, "What thinking about going to Oyen Napa?" He was like, "Where's that?" So we said,
Galway.
Capital Galway.
Just go saying, "Where we go with that?" So we were having go to Oyen Napa. So the whole squad, like coaches,
everything.
Kid man, block, the coach, the whole lot, everything. We're all going to Oyenapa. So we'd go to Parkville starting the Wednesday then. So we're going to Oyenapa on the Saturday. And none of the players turned up on the Wednesday. But Parkville were fighting relegation, so the league made us play. And Parkville is a good stretch out. So I think it was in Navel or somewhere. It's a good stretch from us on a Wednesday evening. So I think there was 8 first-team players went. Albert Murphy, the first assistant manager, he had to play.
Just to make them
Like another few players in. We only had 11 players. And we were beating them 1-0. At the end of beating us 2-1. But the Lloyd, and he said to us afterwards, we heard you going to Oyenapa Saturday, so we knew that wouldn't be a good turn up there. But we went to Oyenapa on the Saturday, but blocked the kit man. Had just a funny story out there. Before we went over, he turned the kit upside down in the dressing room. He says, Frank Hughes says, anyone wants to take the shorts, so we get new gear next year and take whatever gear you want and all. So some blokes will take the white shorts and fucking whatever, like, but you're not going to wear bleeding white top or have shorts over there and Oyenapa. So first morning we're down at the pool and anyway, we're all sitting there having a bit of crack. And the block fella comes down, played Metallica t-shirt on him, no sleeves, right? He's at the taking the goalkeeper shorts, but you know the ones with the padding on the sides. He comes down with that on him, and he says to Block, you can't wear them walking around with us, right? We ain't going to hire a moped out. So he says, in case I come off the moped, he's going around for bleeding. For the week we're out, or 5 days we're over there with the shorts on him. He's still as mad as a British.
I am not here, is it?
Legend.
But yeah.
Some cracker now, like these.
He's got some trips there with them, obviously on Facebook.
You used to go away a lot, didn't you? At Spain and things like that. Yeah.
See, the whole thing was, like, we said you left the AOL, and at that time we thought we could have given it a shot. Like, but they were giving trips out all the time. Remember the lads were cut to South Africa and Brazil. And, so we used to be in Boggers, being Kilks here, the state of Kilk. Like, jeez, look what you took us away from him. So we give him the guilt trip, and then he said to us, we just want to go. So he'd bring us off somewhere. Like, but telling Nelly earlier on, like, we were sponsored by Umbro at the time, and there was a tournament cup, and Umbro were running a tournament for some reason. I don't know what it was, but it was a 14 tournament in Wembley, the old Wembley, before it was knocked down. So it was a team from France, Germany, England, and Ireland, and they picked us to go there. So we went over, and anyway, we played in Wembley, and it was great. Just 2 nights. But one day in Wembley, you played 2 matches. Well, you won the first match, you played in the final. But we beat the French team in the semi-final, got the English team in the final, and beat them our penalties. But we were staying at the Chelsea Hotel in Knightsbridge. Like, this one of the snobbiest places you could go. Like,
loud lunatics from leading with fingers.
Metallica t-shirts on.
Padding on the sides. And there, at spokes there, office workers were on their suits on their laptops while they're having their breakfast and all. I couldn't believe, what are these doing here, lad? Like, unbelievable. Some of the trips we went on, but we were always treated well. That was part of the reason players wouldn't leave Tolka. Part of the reason I didn't leave. It wasn't, I never seen a player get money off Frank Hill for that. And, like, but if you needed that, it was there. If you needed a pair of boots, if a bloke needed a pair of boots, couldn't afford them, or for whatever reason, you got them. Like, and if you played matches in Cork, because intermediate cup or semi-finals against Avondale and that, we flew to Cork. Like, we didn't go down on buses, we flew, and we flew to different games all over the place. Like, but he was great like that. He was like, he was 1 in a million. Like, he treated me and John Hart really well, but like, he was 1 in a million. And part of the club died when he died.
Yeah,
that was a huge part of Tolka Rovers as well. But he was so mad.
is that his actual land down there, Jay, or is that Tolka?
DCU.
Tolka Rovers.
DCU, no, these are at DCU.
No, I think that the council owned it, but
there's
something like a 100 year lease.
100 year lease, yeah.
I know there's, like, but I said you could get their hands on it. Be a partner to do it, like.
Thanks for the apartment, yeah.
Probably been more trophies.
I just what you're touching on, see when you get into the top league in Leinster Senior League, and it's the same now, isn't it so hard to stay a seasonal top intermediate team? You know, in order for a team to come up and then to say, start winning a league and to start be dominant and to be a force and things like that, it takes an awful long time, doesn't it? Like you don't just come up all the way, like say Kilbarrack have, Killester, Ballymun, other Mocktus done it. It took Mocktus an awful long time. Any other team that has kind of came up, they have never kind of came up and just like say blew the league away and just started winning things. They'd have to be a seasonal top intermediate team for years and years and years to be able to become a league champion or something like that.
See, people ask me all the time, like with the team we had, why the success wasn't there. We didn't win enough. As you said at one stage there, like people used to come and watch us and think, Jesus Christ, these are unreal. We didn't get over the line. So are Crumlin, so are Bangor, so are Wastewood, so are Cherry Orchard at the time, so are Bluebell, so are Phoenix used to give us some smashing games. But Phoenix would always take something off us because they were all, not all, but were ex-Tolka, was their local derby. It's very hard to...
Most people that went kind of to Phoenix would have been players that probably weren't getting in kind of a Tolka and then probably raised that game. Yeah. I've been in that fixture, yeah.
But to dominate, I suppose the answer to your question is that you have to have people coming through that's from... I'd say, put it this way, Matt Loughlin rang me, you probably wouldn't remember this. When I first got the Tolka job, I was only 32. I was still playing. And Martin rang me within the following week and he says to me, get your schoolboys together, sort out the schoolboys and you'll do well. Because as he'd seen it, you can't just get success with senior teams because senior teams move on all the time. The more successful you get, there's another team out there that's going to be better than you, and players will walk and leave and go to them at some stage. So if you have schoolboy teams coming through and they're playing from 9 years of age with Tolka Rovers, but the time they get to senior level, they're going to play for the first team. And there was never that with Tolka Rovers. There's a lot of clubs like that. There's some clubs haven't got schoolboy teams. So like
Usher still at the moment. So
that's funny you say that because I probably would have finished my school at an age of probably under 18s, 17s or 18s with Tolka, and we would have been a handful of us would have been asked to go, and I think we might have trained. I think you probably would have been playing at this stage, Jake.
Yeah.
Who was the manager? Was it Paul O'Brien?
Paul
O'Brien was the manager. Now I think he had only came in that season, but myself and Carl Murray and a couple of others off that team think Dara Joyce would have been there.
Robbie O'Reilly could have been involved with Paul at one stage, or he was involved with John Harvard, the second team.
Right.
And Robbie would have been in Paul O'Brien's ear to say to him, there's a couple of players that you should bring down and have a look at.
Right.
Maybe that's what that was.
Yeah, probably. But we would have came up and done a training session, but I don't think I ever was exposed to Tolka's first team at that stage to be able to say, go down and have a look at them or see them playing on the pitch. I obviously had played on the pitch a few times and been down there since I was a kid, but it was never anything to turn a light to say, look, this is fucking Tolka Rovers here. So
you think at the time as well, you would have been more reference to the AUL. See, we were gone out the AUL probably.
No, this is when I finished with Tolka Rovers schoolboys, say under 17s, 18s, and then went training obviously with the Saturday team and first team. We ran around DCU in the dark. But it was never kind of from, I think Jerry Davis was our manager and Peter Lynch was our manager back then. But I think eventually we might have been, I think Jerry and Peter end up eventually taking over Tolka Rovers actually.
Was it?
No, they took over the first team. They must have took over after Paul O'Brien back then. But in anyways, it didn't end up materialising, and obviously we pushed on elsewhere and went. I think we went League of Ireland 21.
I think you remember Jerry and Peter have been involved with. I wouldn't have went. I don't think it was the first team. Sure, he took over after.
Could have been the Saturday team, and one of
you took over after all these. So
would it have been before Paul O'Brien? No,
could have been before. It could have been before all being over. They were looking for a manager. Asked the two that the
probably maybe that's
all. Being Jerry might have been OB's coaches,
right?
Well, Peter would have been.
Jerry would have
been OB's coach,
right?
But at the time then as well, Handler I think was the second team manager at the time. So Robbie O'Reilly, I think, came down a few times and gave Handler a dig out as well. Then I think Robbie went to Wefton at the time and took over at Wefton. So he left, but he would have been in OB's ear to say there's a couple of players I think let's have a look at as well as you was coming through. But in staying as well, like those clubs within our area that players would never come down to watch like intermediate football because they didn't know what it was all about because they knew what the AUL was all about. They know all the Paddington United players and the Clester players and the David Lace.
It's just like our Rose Ground.
I'd be the same. I was all AWL, knew nothing about Lancina. It was like a million miles away, you know.
That's why that's it was saying earlier on about us jumping ship a bit early.
Yeah, we could have had.
It was before all you were coming through as a senior players. You could have had that coming through in the AUL and then you made the jump to Lancina. But again, saying that the way the club was thinking, if you go too late, you're going to be put.
You missed the bus, yeah.
So,
who was winning that thing back then in the top league? Like, who was the strongest?
In the
yeah.
I don't even think Crumlin were in the top league. So it would have been Wayside, Cherry Orchard. Cherry Orchard would have been the main team.
So the first year you went up was Cherry Orchard.
Cherry Orchard, yeah.
Who Kenny used to play with them at that time?
It was playing, yeah. OB was manager after Wilkes, I think his name was.
John
OB
Wilkes.
was playing, yeah.
Yeah.
OB would have played at Wilkes as well, and Cherry Orchard they smashing him as well. But yeah, Bill would never play with Tolka Rovers either. Bill used to get slagged because he passed Tolka Rovers to play with Kevin's. And then he went from Kevin's to Cherry Orchard. Cherry Orchard ended up his club then. That was his main club then in the end. But yeah, Cherry Orchard would have been then. I think we could have...
Very successful, weren't they, that Cherry Orchard spell?
I played very good, yeah. I think Crumlin cooked the top league after us.
Did he, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that would have been only a year after us, but I think they up after us.
Was a big difference between the top league and the second highest league? Would you be like, you know, was it like jumping 2 leagues or what was it?
When you win the senior division 1, you feel like you belong to the top league.
Yeah.
And if you go up there not thinking you belong, well then you're gonna go back down side way. But in fairness, they stayed at the top league until when I left then. Paul Doyle. A couple of years later, that was the first one you were relegated. So you're talking, you were in the top league must have been, was it 15 or 20 years?
Some going down,
I'd say so.
Yeah.
It was, we put, now it wouldn't make that long, would it?
Yeah.
Would have. Maybe would have. Years then, yeah. But to stay in the league and to stay in the top league and not be near relegation in all that time is good going. But like not to win it is not good going. That's the hard part.
We'll get to that now later on. Obviously, the management side of things for yourself.
But yeah, it was bleeding. There was a huge difference from Division 1, senior Division 1 to the top league. There's not a huge difference between the top 5 teams in Division 1 to going up. But then it's as Alan says, it's staying there for the fee. That's the hard part.
So he's close then as players of did you win as players though?
They never won it.
No one else did.
No.
Hawke's
never won the top league.
Never won top league.
No, not the years to there, no.
Few seconds maybe.
Few seconds, yeah. We were runners ourselves, yeah. A few seconds, I think.
Was it close or was it by much or?
You spoke to Scotty, didn't you? On this.
Yeah.
They beat us with one.
But that's when you were a manager though, was it? Or were you playing?
Me and Robbie were manager.
Yeah, that's the woman. Chucky, was it?
People say Chucky scored an OG against them, and that helps. But look, the season's lost.
The
league lost over the season.
Yeah.
We dropped shoot before it's over the season, so it's not down to one man making a mistake. We didn't make a mistake. You tried to clear the ball.
Just to get that was the goal. Yeah.
Like we didn't lose the league over Chucky.
Yeah.
We lost the league through our own faults, and maybe as well. We had too many players represent, and we called too many matches off to them that season.
And you play catch up
because they were playing, and it comes back and bites you then because you've so many games on the bounce at the end. You know what I mean? And it catches you playing 3 games a week then.
Definitely.
Not strength off work and this thing also. So we get that even going out. So fuck, I guess fair.
Yeah. No. We'll go back instead of skipping forward. So when obviously you said you were 32 when you stopped, were you playing top?
I was still playing the fourth team, and then RB we were in playing Malahide one night, and RB just said it was after the match. Well, he didn't say it to the players. He said it to his staff that he's finished. He was gone. So we all went home and anyway, and I was sitting at home.
Is this at the end of the season or
No, this
halfway? Or?
there was a few matches to go, but we weren't going anywhere, just mid-table, but we got a phone call to come down the club. He wanted to speak to me. So I sort of have a half idea what was going to be asked me, but I only thought it was to step in and just steady the ship till someone comes in, because I still wanted to fight for him. But then when I went down, Handa was there as well. So we sent Handa, were called into the
Handa's still playing?
No, Handa was manager to with him. So we went in and anyway, and we had a meet with him. Straight off the bat, he just said, "I want us to take over." So like I was saying, like me, John, or what the two
is
doing, and all, he said, "Well, for 20 minutes, two years go in and try to look after it and see where we go from there." Like, but the next day, then it was next day, since on the phone, ring all the players that we had that were signed and try to get them to stay, because at that stage there was players willing to pack it in and just give up the season and leave it at that.
Where do you think the club gets that from? The decision, say, to ask you on Handa, obviously from what type of players you are?
For probably the
longest,
players there.
Would it be kind of on merit to say though, look, they're probably leaders on the pitch, surely they'll be able to steady the ship?
Things out was 27 for an 8-week period. One of the managers got sacked. Mick McBride got sacked.
So you had a little bit of experience.
He'd won the senior division 1. So I think he stayed a season or two then, and he got sacked. And then he said to me, I was the captain of the first team, he said, will you come in and do it for a while until we get someone? So we went in and we've done it for 7-8 weeks.
Player manager?
And we won like 5 out of 6 games, and we won of the quarterfinals at the Metropolitan Cup. Then they got Kenny Gibbons come in as manager. So he was ex-Bluebell. So he came in as the manager. And we just handed the reins over to him. But I remember the first thing he done on me was, I don't know what he's saying as a threat that like we still playing. I was the captain of the team, and I was at the main manager team for 7 or 8 years.
I'm 1 5 out of 6.
Yeah, so he comes in and he says to me, look, when I come in the dressing room first, he says, look, you write the team out, pick the team for this match, give it to me, I'll call her out, and
we go from there.
Yeah. So I gave him the team, so he's calling the team out, and he's going right forward, Jake Kelly, this, that, the other. So he comes to Kieran Fitzpatrick, and he says, Kieran, he goes, who the fuck wrote this? So we knew them, he numbers up with this fella. Because he knew exactly who did it. He knew who handed it to him. He knew who picked the team.
He's throwing you under the bus, baby.
Straight away, he's saying, who the fuck did this? So straight away,
put you down, basically.
Who the fuck does this fella think he is? So he lasted a year. So he came in, and fairness to him, he knew his stuff. He played a cup final. And FAI seen a cup final with Francis and all. He played with Bluebell for years now. He was a smashing centre half. He knew his stuff, and we thought he was the right man for the job as well. But again, he came in and it didn't happen. And for whatever reason, he went after a year or so as well.
It's like the poison chalice, was it?
That was the thing, like as I said, there's so many ins and outs, comings and goings of managers that like they brought players in and out with them and kept knocking us back, because if you bring 5 players with you, 5 players leave, then when he leaves, and like a prime example was like what's your name? Terry Gleeson, smashing player, banger. He was playing for Dublin City at the time, I think it was. Remember that?
League of Ireland, yeah.
And Gary O'Neill was playing for League of Ireland as well, for Dublin City. And this was an OB was manager, and OB had only took over, and he's still captain at the time. And OB called me over trainers and says to me, look, I'm taking the captaincy out of you. And I goes, yeah, no, but it's only an armband the other day. He says, they won't stop me talking on the pitch now. And he goes to me, no, I'm bringing a player in. And I says, yeah, Terry Gleeson, and you're giving him the captain's armband. And he says, how do you know? He says, Paul, if you're talking to a player and he's down in Dublin City's dressing room, he's going to be talking to other players saying, no matter getting an offer off Tolka Rovers, they're going to make me captain and all. And Gary O'Neill's friend of mine, so I got a phone call. There's always put with what was going on straight away. So football's a small world. So like at the end of the day, I was always going to be said to me. But my reaction was what he already heard was going to be. I didn't care. I was still going to go out and do what I had to do.
Yeah.
Still going to go out and run around and do my job.
Be a captain anyway.
And the most important thing was that I was going to be playing. So he didn't say, you're not going to be playing.
Yeah.
So whether he took that armband on me or not didn't bother me.
Still your club, yeah.
Managing though, isn't it? No matter what, like you wouldn't do that as a manager.
No, well, first of all, if you're a player like that, you don't tell him he's getting the captaincy. You don't tell him I'm bringing this club to you. And secondly, if you're going in as a nobody to another player, I don't mean nobody's a player. Nobody is in that you don't know him, know the club, you don't know the players that's in the club. You wouldn't want the captaincy.
No.
You wouldn't want to walk in the club in the first training session. The magic was over. Right, I'll give you the armband.
I think it'd be a different story if, you know, if you were young and he was bringing in a more experienced player that's probably going to do the job, but he's doing it for a different reason. He's pulling him in. He's giving him the captain's armband to get him to sign. He's not bringing him in to become a captain to lead the team more than what you're going to be able to do. Anyway, like I'm sure the both of you are probably just as experienced as each other, but
I thought he was sound.
He does it that way if you say fair enough.
He was so player as well. He came in and again. It was too hard for him getting off in the south side all the time, training and that.
He actually signed, did he? He came in?
Signed, took the whole lot.
Left after a year.
I didn't even last year because it just didn't suit him, and it came down to like he wanted to go back. He went back to Bangor, and like who could blame him? His mates were there, and Bangor doing things at the time, and like Bangor for me is one of the most steadiest clubs out there. Like. For somebody's like they played in Whitehall Road at the time, it was just a skill pitch. And when you went out there to play on a Sunday morning, you knew you were in a game. You knew them carrying the goals out as players. Like we were getting off minibuses, and we were like Tolka Rovers were getting everything looked after, and you're maybe getting spoiled a bit. Because I'm talking about myself being involved, playing and not, and you getting spoiled a bit, and you're going out the likes of Bangor, and they're carrying the goals. Out onto the pitch, staking them down, put the flagpoles out.
For us, you know, you're laughing and joking about it. Look at these leading.
Well, you wouldn't call them out. Like,
no,
because you soon learned. You soon learned that, like.
For a club for having no schoolboy set up and just the first team and Saturday team, no schoolboy set up.
Well, you've got you all the credit, he deserves it.
Yeah, and done a great job there. Yeah, even though he's been successful, and then he's had periods where he hasn't been successful. But I think. Like what we said there, keeping a team at that level as a seasonal top intermediate team is successful in its own way.
Look, he's had his ups and downs. He's won everything in the league, and he's been relegated, and he's got them back up.
Yeah, that's
probably a bigger achievement for him. Well, I would think as an outsider looking in, than winning the Intermediate Cup, getting relegated and sticking around and getting that club back up the leagues. I back up that league and back going in the top league and I don't know if he went on and won the league after that, but he obviously stayed in it. And to do that is a bigger achievement to me than to go home in the Metropolitan Cup or a Charlie Cattle or even the
to just have one of them and then be fucking off. That's
huge. That's huge. And just touching on Scotty, right? I don't know why he never got the intermediate job. I know he had to fall now he got suspension at one stage. But that to me should have been water under the bridge. Like, whatever happened, it probably something to do with referees or maybe whatever. But he should have got the intermediate job. Because if you're giving the intermediate job out to managers that's in the league,
give it to someone who stayed that long.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
He deserved it at one stage. And my pay is, Doc Lord is a good friend of mine, he's involved in SSC in the league now. My pay has always been, you shouldn't manage the intermediate team or the AUL team if you're a manager involved in
it.
Yeah. Right, because I'm not taking away success of the Crumrans or the Cherry Orchards or whoever it may be, the Bluebells when Andy was in. But it's much easier to find players when you can give them intermediate cabs. If you're sitting in the background and you haven't got that luxury.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, the intermediate team is a big pat in the back to a player. So, like, if you have players that you can say on the phone, look, we can get you in the intermediate team, or the manager now, or the AUL team, whatever it may be at the time.
But still, like, to this day, happening, I still can't get my head around it.
I don't understand it either.
And look what's happening with the manager at the moment.
And exactly.
Many have gone over to Magdas.
Do you know what I think is?
And he's throwing money at them.
Yes, without pressing the money.
The amount of criticism that has came on for the Leinster Senior League, not just like for Brian, but for managers prior, from when Andy Noonan was there, from when Martin Loughlin, Gary Howlett, the amount of criticism that they received online, or it's word around the football world, if you want to call it, at amateur level, is like, why are they doing this? If you done a vote, it'd be 100% the vote for a manager to be outside the league.
Is there not enough managers that's retired?
Retired, exactly.
To say, look at that, they might come out with a vote for this job because it's only
hard,
ends a year,
exactly,
to play a couple of games. You can go watch a few matches, but you're probably going to watch the matches then anyway.
But you can go and see who's in form. You can go and see who's not in form. You can go, instead of one manager, like what we had this discussion, I think, with Floody, and say just pick Brian McCarthy for instance. Brian's not going to have an awful lot of time to go out and watch 14 teams.
His time to watch players is when he's
playing. So he plays them twice a year.
Yeah.
All he's gonna hear by hearsay, Chambers is doing well, or fucking Dean Ivory is doing well. Oh yeah, is he? Oh, he scored 2 goals. Yeah, we got down. Get somebody to go to the fucking match.
You watch them training Tuesday and Thursday.
Neutral.
Yeah. So what's most of his team train Tuesday and Thursday?
So that's why he has 7-8 players.
Does that need to go on your head?
And it's always been we pay here. I didn't hear you talk to someone else about it. Probably Peter Flood, did it?
Yeah,
Floody. Yeah,
I didn't hear you talk to Peter about. I haven't heard Peter's podcast, but it's the field though. It's as I said there. Whenever there's that many managers retired. Like the time of Martin Loughlin to get out was now.
Mm-hmm.
Like and hey now.
Look, we see Gary Howlett down at the Colester game, and he was coming down to watch. Obviously, Finglas were playing Colester.
Yes.
And we were coming out of the dressing room. Only there a couple of weeks ago. I know that's the first thing that came into my mind. It was actually great to see him say hello, lovely man. Always have a lot of time with Gary. And I just kind of glanced and I says like that. He should. That's the time for him to step in there now. Now look, I know he's away from football for different reasons or whatever, but somebody in the form of Gary, or somebody that has an interest, that has been in the league and can do everything that needs to be do.
There's no way.
Do you want the job?
There's no way. I'm not trying to talk himself. But he's actually asked.
You don't win a thing.
Some years ago, was he interested? Wasn't asked, do you want it? But I was asked a few years, would I be interested? And I just said no at the time. But there's no way that Dane, being my brother, I would have went to Crumlin. Not being, if that had not been representing.
Well, he was playing for Martin in the LSL team at that point.
International team. Paddy Fagan, I think his name was the assistant manager with Martin. So when Dane played the internationals for Smith, Dane was real McCrummer players. When he played for intermediate football, he was real McCrummer players. Dane used to go back to Tolka Rovers training and say, "This is blatant shit. This fucking trash."
That's how Dane left. I remember being there and Dane leaving that
Dane
that
said
time.
to me one day, "Look, I'm not playing football anymore." I said, "Dane, sign for Crumlin." Right on the spot, I said, "I'm signing for Crumlin." "I'm not signing for Crumlin, I'm not signing." 4 weeks later, my dad rings me and says, "Dane's at signing for Crumlin." I says, "You should have done it weeks ago." I knew he was doing it. But that's all down to intermediate. Dane was already in Irish International. Dane was already in the mid-hill. It wasn't about, it's about who you get round to, who you come off the back of a weekend with, like drinking and having a bit of crack with and all. And then them saying, "You should come out of the walls, it's a bit crack."
Just give it a go, yeah.
Like, you think
and they're winning, and it's like,
you think the manager's not saying to the players, "Can you this such and such is here when you're on this weekend away and get them down to us?" And that's, look, if someone keeps talking to you so for lot of stuff, it's going to twist your arm, isn't it? You're going to go. And that's, Dane was a huge loss, was his goal scorers, goal league, so it was probably had a drive for a while, but I never fell out with Dane over. We never seen Dane playing the Crumlin girl.
You never seen him what?
Dane playing
with Crumlin girl. Never watched them.
I never watched them.
Oh, did you not? No, just against.
I just played him. I only played against him once.
Down on Frank Cube, was it?
No, we won the league. They won the league, sorry, out there. And we played in the last game of the season or something. And Dane, all the most players nearly said he wasn't going to play because he won the league already. But Dane played. He said, "No, we players." And we beat him 3-1, but he scored.
Did he hit off in the face, was he?
I never seen me die. Was to take me to the interview the final on. Didn't go.
Didn't see it right, you know. Didn't see it right.
No, I didn't see it right.
Not like our like, I don't want to say our bitterness was like, or was it just like you did it? You just.
I we just didn't.
You would have been manager at Tolka, and that was it. You just didn't want to see him.
It wasn't pushed to it. I've they made the finals before, but we just didn't want to see them play.
Right. So it was a personal.
Yeah, we weren't
thing.
a bit annoyed at him.
Yeah.
But, so then, if Ant was said to me in the background, like, of players or look,
Friends or whatever.
I see the way he played. What's it after? Did
Did it upset you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time,
Yeah.
Oh, of course you did.
If you had it done it in a different way, would you have just said just go for it, or would you like them to show you?
The end of the season, maybe if the end of the season, then you have to campaign in pre-season.
Because there was only a few games in, wasn't it?
Yeah, so you only had one season with them.
No, I mean it was only a few games in the air season. I stayed with Tolka at the time when Dean left.
Went, so then he only had that season then. And then he went
to Oldham.
went to England. But even coming off the back of going to England, all the newspaper reports was Crumlin player goes to England now.
Yeah.
Like, he's at the game with Tolka Rovers for 4 or 5 seasons. So like that sort of got to me as well.
Yeah, of course.
We done a lot of coaching with him, we done a lot of training with him. As Wefta did.
Yeah.
Like the plaudits all went to Crumlin. But like that shouldn't have went have went that way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not bitter anymore.
The council section, is it?
So the transition then from player to manager comes for you and Handler, and you just step in straight away and finish this.
No.
Well, you do.
No, we played for Saturday team then.
Right.
Just played Saturday. And there was a good few of us. Like, again, going back to Scott, he was playing Saturday team football for Bangor. So you still don't want to give it up. Even at 22, you didn't want to give it up. So I'd still play for Handler on the Saturday team. And we ended up winning leagues and cups with the Saturday team. The Lanigan Cup and the league and that. But it only took a couple of days with Handler, myself and Handler decided then. It was Robbie O'Reilly got in touch with us and says, Robbie's a great friend of mine and Handler's, and he says, I'm surprised you didn't get a show to get involved. I said, Robbie, we never thought you'd want to, you know. So, and
is he up at Wefta at this stage?
I think he still was Wefta. But he was getting a few Wefta players in the meantime. Dane was playing with Wefta. We got Dane down, Paul Quinn.
Yeah, so they have.
Yeah, good player.
Very good
player. Wasn't he?
Yeah, Gav was couple there.
Yeah, he went to Crumlin then as well, didn't he? Paul Quinn, yeah, I think he went.
No, Gavin went to Crumlin.
Oh, Gav went to Crumlin. Paul Quinn that go to Crumlin as well after Tolka. I think he might have.
But we had a couple of players. We got a couple of players down from Wefta, and
was do you know Dave Walsh? Remember Dave Walsh left full? Was Dave Walsh playing with Wefta? And did you just get him down to Tolka?
No, Walsh was with Darren Moore.
No, but Walsh played with Wefta when Robbie O'Reilly was there as well for a little spell. Yeah, he was at left full. Never pushed himself as far as he could have. I don't think Walsh. He's a good player.
That type of Three Rovers, isn't it?
Yeah, that's far good.
Never played those now. But Robbie came down and anyway and had a chat with us. And Handler ended up saying, "Look, I'll stick with the Saturday team, and I'll still do up there, which isn't on the first team as well." So Robbie came in, but Robbie's thing was he wanted to be joint manager. And at the time I was saying, look, well, I was at the time I was doing joint manager with Handler, so we go joint manager with Robbie. It won't make any difference.
You have somebody in with you.
And Robbie's experienced manager at the time as well. And also he could get players in from Wefta, like that.
I'll bring 7 with me.
And I knew the Luke Barber and all was there, so like we're saying, if we get
win probably fight.
Yeah, if we get them players in, like we'd be laughing, you know. So that's what we done. We Robbie came in and we brought the players in. We won the Charlie Cattle then that year straight away. Then the following year,
this your first year, you won the Charlie Cattle.
And the following year we got runners up. That was in Bangor, Beatles, and we won the Charlie Cattle again. And then it ended up myself and Robbie then were sort of, I wouldn't say clashing in any way, but it was sort of a power thing then. It was like joint managers don't work because it's hard.
I don't think it'd ever work, would it?
No, and it's hard, you know, because he was trying to get me to still play. So he's playing the odd game for the first team. And even on the pitch, I was saying to myself, I wouldn't make that change. Or I wouldn't do this.
So, yeah.
And I'm shouting across the line to him.
It's just looks messy, doesn't it?
Then I was saying to him, take me off. And I was probably playing well and all. And I like, what are you coming off for? Or just take me off. Because we're sort of, I want to be involved in this sort of management side of things. So
you want to be more of a manager at that stage than
at that stage then I was 24.
Right.
So like, I was finished. All I could do was play Saturday. I didn't think I was up to still playing the first then. So then I yelled up, say to Robbie, I rang him up and says, look, do you want to come off to my house? I want to have a chat with you. So he come off the house in the taxi. he sat outside in the taxi and he says to me, come out. I said, come in the house. I said, no. So
Sounds like a train at this son.
I know what's going on. So
Yeah.
I went out and let him go. Trying to do this to the guard. So I just said to him, look, I wanna give it a go on my own. Says like it's hard at like with the two was a take what.
How many seasons in are you here now, Jay, with this 2 seasons in? Yeah, because when I was there, which is I didn't, obviously player wise you're probably not going to see that little bit of needle between two managers, but never noticed anything to like decisions wise.
For example, the second season we're out with Glebe North playing a match Friday night, and Keith Maher was our captain, Marzi. For me, the best captain he ever had. Smashing player. Barber was probably the best technical player we had. He was unreal. Natural ability, Barber's right up there. But that match against Glebe North, I said to Robbie, I think we were playing right wheel and centre midfield. Either Marzi or Barber.
Just goes to show the quality of players there, that just them 3 players that you're at mentioning, like it's really like top players.
So I said to Robbie, like, we both agreed. What we used to do was we'd write 11 down or he'd write 11 down and we matched them. And it usually not bang on or I'd be one player that has to be changed. Turns out Robbie had Marzi, the captain, out of him and he had Barber in it. I know he had Marzi and Barber over. So we sort of stood for 10 minutes while the warm-up was getting done and the whole lot.
What's the reasons why? Like why?
I thought that match suited Marzi more than suited.
And he's your captain as well.
Yeah, and he's the captain as well. I just thought Glebe over the hard working team. Marzi was the hardest working player we had. At the midfield, if you could quit in the midfield, by Barber we'd be getting on the ball from centre halves and the midfield would probably take over. So he's just taking
a bit more physicality in there, yeah.
Not that Barber couldn't win a battle.
Yeah, but
he'd just be all over.
But that's his job. That was
was everywhere.
Yeah, his job was to win.
I couldn't restrict them.
No, we already had Ray Wheelhand who bombed on all the swing around. So we couldn't decide. So we said, look, a hander's going to have to do it. So we called Hander over. So we said, this is the
Bit of a coin.
the quality of like, says, what will we do? And he says, look, for the game that's in it, he's thinking like me. He said, we got for Marzi, and he's the skipper. So Robbie just said, right, no bother, go with that. So the lads have finished the warm-up and they go in the dressing room. And Robbie goes ahead of me. And I shouts to Marzi, come here. So Marzi comes off me, what's the story? And I goes, Robbie wanted to drop you. Right? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, no, I want you to go out there and prove a point that we made the right decision picking you. So I used them as a, and it wasn't to backbite Robbie, because I'm sure Robbie went to Barber and said to Barber, Jay's at the leading you out of the team.
Yeah.
You wanted to gear Marzi up so you could get best out of him.
And Marzi was the best player in the park that night. Barber was applauding from the dugout. And Robbie says to me then, he made the right decision there. But they were the type of things that happened more than once. But it was never an argument. We never argued over it. But when I eventually then did say to Robbie, look, I'm at to gain experience over the last 2 years. I want to give it a go on my own and whatever, like. He understood. And he said to me years later, if the shit was on the other foot and I had brought you in, I'd have let you go. So he done the same thing. So it's just the way it worked out.
Yeah.
But look, the 2 years we had together was great. It just got to the stage where we just wanted to give it a go on my own.
And does Robbie just leave then? He just goes off and...
He said at the time, he said, I'll finish the season now. It was after Christmas. And he said, I'll finish the season now. But then he called the following week and said, look, I wouldn't be able to sit there and not...
Have him.
Yeah. So he just used Scully's sword and left. But that was the story with the two of us there. So we sat with Hannah and then I brought Martin Doyle in. Do you remember Martin?
Remember Martin, yeah.
It's that stage where the lads were not complaining about the coaching, but the training sessions were getting a bit stale.
Old school.
Yeah, and there wasn't Hander's fault, there wasn't my fault. I took a few sessions as well. You just were old school. And there was a new form of coaching coming out, wasn't there? All these epic coaches were getting involved.
So yeah, you needed to have a coach that had a badge and all this shit.
They're all weird. It's almost there when the tractor tops there around the place.
What's Paul's name that went to Crumlin?
Paul Martin,
was it? He went to Crumlin and you could see the warm-ups and all. We were going to, you could see their warm-ups and all that. Top drawer and
dynamic stretching and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
so like, I got in touch with
The
Martin.
evolving of it, yeah.
Yeah, so Martin Doyle was with the FEI, and he could had a meeting with him, and he could evolve then. And again, then Hannah was still involved as well. So like, but Martin came in, his coaching was quality. But then as well, we were playing Friday nights at the time then, and players are coming in like you're playing at 8:15. Players are coming in 6:30, 7:15, and you can't say that they're trying their best to get there on time. So you're probably meeting at 6:30, but they're trying their best because they're coming from work. Could be going to the south side. They might be eating their lunch before they go to have a warm up because they didn't stop for a break and all, you know. But Martin was coming in and he had a projector on the wall, and you know, like
He needed time to do that and players to be there.
I got frustrated with it because I was still old school myself, and I was going like, you can't ask a player to sit here for like 45 minutes going through set pieces, and like, because look, we did work on set pieces in the training with Martin and all. So the players knew the set pieces. All you need to do was call out who's take the set piece, who's on the end, or whatever way the set pieces look now. I didn't think you needed to put a projector on the ball and go through them all again every game and all. Like, so got frustrated, and he got frustrated with me then because I was like, Mark, don't bring that projector in the room again. But like, I'd give him his time on the board and all, which I did with every coach. Like, go to me tape talk, stand back and let them do the board, the technical stuff and the whole lot. And they'd walk away, and then I just rouse them up, get them going, and get at it, and hopefully win a game. But like, coaches for me are frustrated managers. Greg Campbell's probably the best coach I ever had at any team. But Glenn wants to be a manager as well as the coach, but doesn't want to do the donkey work of
Dealing with players,
get on the phone. Now, you've been bringing players pre-season and try to get players to sign and different players in and that. But like, if players get dropped and all, it's talk to Jay. Don't come to me. Like,
I'd have played you as Jay.
the coaches are the players' best mates. It's the manager's fault. But coaches then on a Sunday or a Friday night want to be the manager and the coach. They want you to move out of the way in the dressing room and let me at them. I'll do all the talking. We'll get them going. We'll get
mud built across, and then but then it goes wrong. I told you this way, and then if they win, it's like, told you it's working. Like, yeah, you done that in training, didn't you?
Like, that's across the board. Like, like, the best coaches around are just frustrated managers. They want to be the manager, 100%.
Yeah, they want to call all the shots, but they don't want their 100% responsibility.
The whole time on the side of the pitch, you're standing on the line, they come up to you, change that. I think you should change that. Get him off. Built that over there.
They're doing the same job when the match is on, but not afterwards.
You going to them and saying, come here a minute, thinking of doing this. They're coming to you
and telling you what to do.
Telling it, and we've had that with every coach. And like, that's the training sessions, like more recent years have been top drawer, and it's not that the runner has gone out of the game, it's they're running with the ball now.
Yeah, exactly. It's hidden runs.
There's no excuse for me for players not turning them down, because it's not laps to the park anymore, and it's, you said earlier on, they're doing. We used to train in Bedevon College there when I was playing, and they'd put 4 pod lights up on a generator, and like, you turn the end of the session is over, you couldn't see your feet.
Yeah.
The mud was just paid.
You hit the cone, you're slipping, and you're back up.
That's the way it was back then. There was no Astros and all the train on, so, but everything's changed now. So there's no excuse for bad coaching now. As in, like, you have to get the ball down and train with the ball.
Yeah.
And that goes right down the skill base.
Definitely. Totally agree.
I remember, just popped into my head there, I don't know why, but when we were there, when I was there with you, did you get frustrated at all, Jay, because of the teams that you had and probably weren't successful, as you said? You were the Spurs. Was it harming you, like, as a manager at times?
It's hardness. It's hard because you've seen squads that for me were on par with the best teams. So the winners of the league, the squads I had at times were on par with them.
Yeah, but I think so as well. Yeah,
didn't click for whatever reason in certain games, or let themselves down in certain games, or really let yourself down in certain games. Like, I remember Nolly Murray said that they won in one match. He says, "There's no plan B there, Jay. Plan A is not working." And I says, "When they plan A work," but that wasn't the answer.
Yeah,
the answer was for me to change something.
Yeah,
it was for me to change something and me to say, right, we'll go 3 at the back here, or we'll do
make something productive and new, yeah,
different. You know what I mean? And I didn't that day. But if that got into my head, then from then on in, then I knew you have to do something different to win games.
It's all learning, isn't
You
it?
have to change, and sometimes it's just someone has to say to you.
Yeah.
Because at times, as you said, the best players, I thought in my dressing room. So we just thought putting them out there together.
What's
It's
enough?
guaranteed to win.
It's guaranteed to win. And most times it was. But when you come up against somebody who, probably a coach maybe, says there's a weak link there, there's a way of getting around this, or
And they play a tactical game that can go against you.
yeah,
But your game plan changes though, so you're obviously going to win. So you're 2-0 up, or it goes back 2-1, your man sent off. So you're adapting in the game. To kind of your plan B is to see these come out at that stage. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, well,
if it's last 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
it's usually panic stations then. It's usually when you're chasing again.
Yeah, but the other side,
Everything changes.
but the other side is if you're losing 2-1 and your Dave man sent off, then your
The
game plans has changed again.
Was that I didn't change when we were winning. I should have been changing games at 1-0.
that's shouldn't really.
Win.
Yeah.
We wanted to win like big style. I wanted to win like 3-1 or 4-1 or
Convincingly.
Was that to show that the rest of the league then listen, we have got the best team on
the
paper.
rest of the league. It was just to show that team you're playing on the day.
Just we give them a spank.
To humiliate them around, just to say, yous are the players are the best out there.
Right.
Go out and show other teams how good you are.
Yeah.
And like they're getting the license now to just go out and do what you do.
Yeah.
No one's giving out just on the line saying don't try something or don't do something. But that was a downfall because we should have been putting a leash on them. Like we played Fairhouse one day, one Friday night in the club, and it was the year we were in the running for the league, and we're winning 1-0. There's about 4 minutes to go in the match.
He threw it away, didn't he?
Paul Ryan runs down. We got a corner kick. Paul Ryan runs down, takes the corner kick straight away, sticks in the box. Keeper catches it, they launch it. And the outside left was a big long-haired fella. I can't think his name, played for Fairhouse. And he wasn't much of a player. But he could bustler. Get on the ball, cut inside and put in the top corner. And we drew 1-0. And like, they were the points that you dropped that cost you at the end. But all you had to do was stay in the corner with the ball, take a few touches, leave only Murray, Macker and all at home.
Instead of bringing them up for a corner.
And they failed it.
Yeah.
But like, that was my fault. But it was my fault because it was, well, I was screaming at Royal not to take the corner. But it was my fault for not telling the lads before we got the corner, don't move out of that corner. But you think for players of their experience and the manner of which they play the game, they would know to stay in the corner. Don't come out of that corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Win
Game management, isn't it?
We never really won games ugly. Tolka. That was a huge problem. We never won games ugly.
Good week in that sense. Didn't teams always came to Frank Hook on a high, didn't they? Because of the facility of it. I remember actually coming towards probably the end of the season. Don't know if you remember this, that you had changed the Friday games coming towards the end of the season to Sunday games because people were coming to Frank Hook and just embracing.
Turn the lights on.
You're playing on the best pit, and they were just upping that game, like just putting it up against you, like, and then you'd go out and see them play the week later, and they'd be tongue.
You have players that's used to playing that every week. It just becomes a normality to them. Like, them lights were probably a first. I don't remember anyone in the league that played under the lights. So they turn up on Friday night, and Ben Lindsay and Tony Ekby used to have that pitch with them.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Like
immaculate.
Lines marked out, the whole lot of them. Brave players got. Like,
you're comfortable, yeah.
Probably used to comfortable with it. That
you're spoiled and almost away.
Teams walking in, you only have to get out of cars, walk in and say, Jesus Christ, look at this. You can't play football on that. But like, and that was the truth. If you can't play football on that, but they went out and just played out of their skins, and that was like every team. So every home game, you had to be at 100%. Because every team that played against you was going to be 100%. As you said, like I'll give it to Bangor, as like I always said about Bangor, but that carrying the goals out and all, they were a team. They were like not that air players weren't a team, but they're still the best of mates now with Tolka. But they were like would have died for each other. They didn't want for each other. So like being a bit played and brought down to earth at times by carrying goals out and all made you a better of leading the game because
you're working for the club. You're doing everything for the club, you know.
Yeah. Like, sometimes the players were spoiled for Tolka. Like you was not the same. My missus used to make sandwiches after every match for in the dress rooms, and like they got everything. Everything was. That's not the reason we didn't get over the line, but that was
part of the spoiledness.
Yeah, and
You could put it that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was players moved on and won trophies. Like our Tolka, and Albert said it to me. We just got too well looked after. That got too comfortable with it, and it's probably part of the problem.
So when did you start feeling that fizzle out? Like,
it was actually it wasn't that it was fizzling out. It was like I don't know. It was going downhill a bit with players, and then we had to build again. And when you're building again as well, it's tough as well trying to get them new players in of the standard of players that's leaving. But we still had a great squad. We're still great players there. Like,
is any schoolboys coming through? You had the users coming through.
Yeah.
Are they there? Or in there? You
Shane
Shane.
and Mark, they can throw them. I think Mark had the shells. Shane can throw. Brian Fitz can throw.
Fitz, yeah.
The fullback. Then later on, then Ryan Swan can throw. Ryan's still playing up the north.
The north.
Still getting a great career out. But like, that's what it came to that stage where you were using schoolboys then.
Obviously, they're not experienced at that level because it is a different level. Like altogether, you might be a great player, but you don't know the experience of it. You're gonna struggle. Like,
But that's it. And then you're playing against experienced players. So
Yeah.
look, but Shane always had like a 2-year period where
untouchable. I think it was there for one of the years. He just kept scooping the ball over, like steps forward, just kept scooping up the keeper's head.
he was unstoppable.
Like even like that, look at the ball going over his
He
head.
hadn't even got like a great turn of foot. Over 10 yards, he probably
Yeah,
long distance wise, he hadn't got a great turn of foot. Then he wasn't the hardest player that played. He centre forward was. He wasn't hardy, you know.
he's not gonna play his back to goal.
No,
Yeah, it has to be in front. Yeah,
when you put that ball in front of him for the 2 years, he was unreal.
flying the money.
But he was so laid back. You were talking about scooping the ball over people's heads and all. He was doing that from 40 yards, like.
Yeah,
And like then he gets close, he's throwing shapes, and then he got called into the international team. So this is how laid back he was. He got called into the international team. I got a phone call to say, because the manager always gets the phone call and you have to relay it to the player. I guess the phone call to say, we're calling Shane use him. He's having such a great season or whatever, right? So he rings him to tell him, and he goes to me, well, will I have to try him with them and all? I'm like, Shane, this is the play.
He's so naive to the world,
This
wasn't
is
he?
the hardest amateur team. Like, it's a great recognition for you and our family and a whole lot and all. Like, even if you only played once or twice, it's great now. Well, I don't know. When do I have to tell them? we couldn't get over it. Like, that's how laid back he was.
Yeah.
Like, then he only went out played a couple of times. So
just no interest in
for
it.
the international team. But then he done his crucial then, and that sort of finished him because he never recovered really from that.
Right.
He went to Cherry Orchard after. He left Tolka with the Cherry Orchard. I think he came back then to Tolka when Paul Doyle took over. Came back to Tolka. But the crucial thing killed him. He was always weary of that happening again.
Is it? He wasn't.
Wasn't a safe player.
Yeah, he wasn't a player who gets stuck in, and anyway, so he's probably afraid to take any sort of hit at that stage.
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. And then the likes of Barber and all had well gone. Dean had well gone. Like, Margie was finished. Like, there was a good few players.
Nobody gone
Moved
in.
on. Well, nobody was still there. Marco was still there. Carlo had signed for us. Carlo Summers. Crocker was still there. So we still had a base of a good team. Like when we talked about when it came to the end.
Yeah.
We still had a base of a good team. But what happened then was, from what I heard later on, Sheriff were playing a semi-final of a junior cup down on Tolka's pitch. And Alan asked the training pitch the week previous or something, or the Thursday before the match or something. Say we're playing the Sunday. He asked the training on Thursday night. And while he was on the pitch training, he had a word at one of the committee and he says, if this job ever come up, guys would love to give it a go. And lo and behold, they played on the Sunday. I spoke to him on the Sunday and he says to me, don't be mind them rumours that's going around, Jay, and all that. I know you hadn't heard that. So I just said, I don't know what you're talking about. And so he says to me, there's rumours going around, and the secretary of Sheriff was there at the time as well. He said, there's rumours going around about me coming down here and all. I says, Alan, look, if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. But I'm sure the Sheriff players will all come down here with you. Like, sarcastically, I said that.
Yeah.
So on the Tuesday, then I got a phone call off one person in the committee to go down and have a word with them. So I went down and I knew what was coming. he says to me, I think it's time for it changed down here or whatever. Like, and I says, look, if that's the way the committee feel, because we've no gripes about it. I'm with the club a long time. There's no problem. He says, but what about finding another role for you at the club and all? I says, look, it's too early to talk about that. I says, look, if I'm gone, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, so we called it an amicable lead and whatever.
Mutual.
A breakup.
Yeah.
So I told her, I says, there's no bother. We'll move on. And that was it. But the next day I got phone calls off, I'd say 80-90% of the committee saying, what is going on? What did you resign for?
So one person made.
They didn't know about it.
So one person made a decision to get rid of you.
They didn't know about it. So it
We have all.
was never a committee decision in the end.
And you only met the one person down there.
I only met one person, and from what I was told, there was only himself and probably one or two maybe others. But out of all the committee, which would have been loads, they all rang me the next day. What was the reason for your jacket?
So what many service? How long was your service to the club? Senior was.
I would have been
as player.
Senior was would have been easily 20 years.
And that's one
Skill was
one phone call, one chat with that for me, and
probably 22 years.
It's all it takes, isn't it?
And 6. I was probably with the club 28 years all in all.
yeah.
How did you feel about it, Jay? Where you come when he was giving you this information and telling you, like, we think we need to change? Were you saying to yourself, Jesus, maybe we do, or else were you a bit like, no, I don't think so?
I'd already made phone calls I'd already got commitments off players that were coming in. Like the likes of, as you said, the spine of the team was still there. We had the sign of Carlo a couple of years beforehand from Bowes. The spine of the team was there. I just needed to get a goal scorer. We needed someone to put the ball back in the net. And we had people coming in, and then it just didn't pan out that way. But as it went, the players, we had an end of season deal because it was the end of the year. And we had an end of season deal, and we 7 and went with. The lads looked after us bleeding. Bought me a watch and all, and gave on flowers and this, that, and the other and all. But the other Cargill then started going to the committee and saying, this is fucking wrong. It should have been kept, and all that. No, I said, look, it's too late today. It's over. But it took them a long time. It took them weeks then. They brought in Chubby Malone, Chubby Graydon.
So after when you left, who came in straight after?
Just sat there.
Chubby Malone.
No, so Alan, nothing happened with Alan Riley then, because
it was never going to happen. He only said, like,
so it wasn't that committee member he had the conversation with. It was that committee member. So why didn't he go for Alan? Or I remember hearing Alan had got it and took it for a day, 2 days, and then it wasn't Alan's, and then Joey Malone came in, and I was a bit like, what the?
Yeah, but Alan was asked by that committee member, so the job was free now. What's the story?
And he couldn't get the bodies up. That's what I was told.
But there's no way the sheriff players were leaving sheriff.
Yeah.
We ain't the sheriff lads. They were winning things hand over fist. Like, they weren't going to leave sheriff to come to Falkirk. So he was left high and dry then. So the committee man, so he turned it down. Joey Malone went in. He was given a list of 20 players. And from what I was told by players, to a man, they all said, no, we want Jay back. Then Joey Braden went in. Joey Braden rang me. He rang me himself and says, all the players about the ringing want you back. I said, well, there's no going back. That was the end of it then. So Paul Doyle then ended up getting it through his own phone call, I think. So he was at the being manager of Sherry Orchards or whatever. So he made contact with the club. He got it. The players then met him and friends to them. They gave him on a jump ship at Tolka at 20. They met him and they ended up saying, look, we'll give it a free season, see how it goes. I had committed to no one. I was finished. I was going to anyone. But then, what happened was then, it was weeks later, pre-season was nearly over, and Phoenix were struggling. And I knew all the lads, didn't I? And they said to me, look, players,
Hardy was at the goal.
Hardy was at the goal. Players, come up and give it a go. So I'm thinking stupidly in my head that, like, I'll get players off Thursday then to go up and swing at Phoenix. But then Paul had went in with hockey, and two of them first and had done a good job of pre-season. So the lad said, we'll see it out a few weeks, see how it goes. So then I was taking over Phoenix, and then I was left with what they had. So then you're going, how can I get in? I rang you.
Yeah. Gavin O'Brien.
We
We're after, weren't we? Yeah.
brought the 5 years up.
Yeah.
And they committed 5 and said they'd so in. And then Alan then said, at the last minute, no, Jay pulled the plug on it. And I think they all then said, but I got Robbie Monaghan, Dean Thomas, they come up.
Oh, you nippers back then, yeah.
The fella Ian Bourne from, he's a futsal.
I played in the Ireland futsal with Ian Bourne, yeah, smashing little futsal player. Left foot, yeah.
Just wouldn't pass the ball, but yeah. Unreal. Peace right and Felix. Victor Leon, the centre half now. And so we got a half decent squad together. And we were top of the league at Christmas. So like, I was saying, like,
this is easy.
happy days. This is walking now. Like, but we played Tolka then down on Francook, and fairness, they battered us. And like, you're seeing the difference between the quality that was there over the course of the season that you needed, and it was in this. It was in their squad. Paul was at the bringing the 2 Uses back, who had left me to go to Cherry Orchard. He brought the 2 of them back. He signed Dennis Borden, Wayne Bourne, a couple of others. Those players needed, and he brought.
He got covered in, yeah.
And fairness, he went on and won 2 cups and got runners on the league. But they bashed us that night, and that was probably the most core defence as a manager. We were getting bashed. And
convincingly, like.
And I dropped Robbie Monaghan because Robbie was top goals in the league at the time, and you couldn't understand why I dropped him. But he was carrying an injury, and we were going to Cork to play the intermediate the following week. And I was just thinking, we get back to running the intermediate, then we have chance of winning this league. So I'll hold it for the intermediate cup. But I had to bring him on at half time. I think they were beating us 2-0 at half time. But what third is a new one. And Robbie come on and sort of stretched them and put them on the back foot for a bit. So like, I think you got away with a 3-0 defeat or something like that. But the first half was embarrassing. So I only stuck around with Phoenix for the year then. Like Dave Kenny, he looked after us up in Phoenix. He was good. He was a good man on the committee. He hadn't got much of a committee, in fairness to him.
I think Harry was the committee. Harry was everything. The brothers, he was everything up there. And I think when Harry was gone, I don't think it was there.
So when Dave said he was leaving, then he said to Glenn, it was Glenn that got me to go up, Rick Hayes and that. So just said, look, it's time to pull the plug on this as well. We're not going anywhere, you know. It was going backwards. The whole Phoenix club, apart from skill wise, senior wise, was just going backwards. The players weren't there, and it's out of the way up there. It's hard.
Let's hard up in there, yeah.
Like, and they've nothing, as in the sense of home was in a bar or like.
We'd say for a couple of hours afterwards, and you're in, you're out. That's
exactly.
You don't see
you don't see them. One story about them.
And it's an area where like you're not gonna bring anyone in. It's not an area. It's not even an area, is it? Like with English, you have people that like around the
dump a body. That's enough to be up there.
So Lado Cabra played for the Twins. Big head case, madness, right? But he was playing for Phoenix when I saw it when I went up at Steaders, but he kept at me all the time. I was bringing him on a sub and he was playing centre forward, but he's a big bustler and he's decent enough player, but
Wayne, is it?
I was just going to say that there.
But he gets stuck in, right? Like, Wayne, right? But he gets stuck in and there. He was coming on the sub.
Goals he could.
Goals, yeah.
Could always score.
And him and Robbie was doing well together. Robbie was top goals for the league at the time. And so the two were playing well together when they brought him on. And he kept saying, give me a chance. So we said to him, he comes over on a Thursday night to me. I'm playing the Friday. I'm trying on Thursday and gives set pieces and that. And he says to me, you're going to start me tomorrow and all. And I says, I was going to start you, but I'm not now. And he goes, why? He says, because you have to come over to me now in front of the whole squad. And you're bashing me now, right? So if we start you tomorrow, it's like Canada's at the bottom of it. He's going to, so we said, if you do the business when you come on tomorrow night, I'll start you the following week, right? So we took that, right, I'll take that. So we were at home again the following week. It was a cup match. And we're meeting at 6:30 again. And 7:15, I was swearing away. 7 o'clock, all the players in the game ready to go out to do a warm-up. Wayne posted on it. And he says to him, where are you? What's the story? He says, Jay, you wouldn't believe it. The sunbed shop was packed. He went and done a sunbed because he heard the news at the Tigers was going to be there. So we missed out on the chance of start. And Louise, the physio, said, sure, you had to dehydrating yourself now. So the first thing you want to do was pull a muscle. He says, look, You can't.
Yeah, man.
So I just said to him, don't even put care on you. So didn't even trip him. You didn't even flag. But that's like how bad I was getting in the end. Yeah. For me, mentally wise,
as a manager,
this.
Could you imagine one of your players like that you want? Your like neck is on the line here to be winning games, and some cunt comes up and says, "I'm late because I've done a sunbed." Yeah, like it's.
The winner, wasn't it?
But that's where it's gone. Yeah,
that's how we could see football myself going downhill at that stage, and like that was supposed to be laid Joyce and the cake down the side. Again, I just said, "Look, I'm out here and there." Yeah. So then Anne would be begging me, "Please don't go back, Lila, because you're coming home just a bad form all the time now." So lo and behold, they left it for another season, I think, was it? And for all them.
That's a great look of that is.
For honest, one of the better clubs I managed. Yeah. Great little Hockley club.
Committee, you're great.
Set up the pitch, there was a gym there, you don't have anything for you, you got a physio.
Did he have a bar though?
Bar, pool table, and there was some up the lads to go after the matches and all. It was good crack. We good laugh there, and
it goes
Nels aside, and as I said earlier on,
jeez, you went for more. You tried to sign me, man. You go and sign him.
Yeah,
worse and worse.
I'll smash your face in.
I had to go back to the old players to get the food so you get the.
The brother-in-law came with you as well.
Alan Cairns, yeah. The worst thing I ever done. Done my job. It was the worst thing I ever done was in the dressing room. He said he was the enforcer, remember?
Women of Fox.
Right, Cairns was playing centre midfield, and Danny Giffney, and Alan was playing, and he says to Alan, on the team talk, "Look, just go and win the ball. Give the ball to him who can play." He says,
"Kickballs,
you're the enforcer." So that went around, and I just got up a stick over it. He got all the group messages as well. Yeah, it was the enforcer saying it tonight.
Put Alan's head on some fella with the enforcer over it. Stuff like that.
They called the enforcer, Clint Eastwood or something. Said it. He put Alan's face on it, put it up as the group. You know,
the icon.
So, but for now, we were a great club. The committee were great to us.
How did it go up there?
We hadn't got a squad. We went in again.
What division?
We top one from the top.
Yeah, I've seen the Division 1, yeah. It was always a rebuild after. Like, Tolka, I never went into a team where you went in and there was a squad there.
I was going to say, that from looking from the outside in, and obviously knowing you and knowing where you were, you never went to anywhere that was settled.
No, it was probably because of Tolka. It was probably because I just missed that. It was my club.
It was home.
It was my club, yes. So you never, You were looking for it. You were looking for it somewhere else, but it was never out there. So I never found a club that it was what I could call my club. For our again, last day of the season we kept it in the league, was it?
Yeah.
We were playing Dublin Bus, and then
out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, they whatever way it was working out. If they beat us, they won the league. Even if they drew us, they got second. If they lost, they missed out. It was only top two went up. And we beat them 1-0. Danny Giffney scored. We needed to win to stay in the league. Danny Giffney scored. I always remember, I think it was Andrew Cleary was playing with them centre half. And at the end of the match, he went over. We were all shaking hands. And he loafed Crofty straight.
Referee? Andrew Cleary, is he a referee? No?
The brothers.
Right.
But he went over him and loafed Crofty straight in the nose. Knocked him down. And the referee runs over. The match was over. The referee went over him a red card. But they were the Metropolitan Cup final the following week. That was the last game of the season.
That would be bad.
So like we shaking his hand and says, "You were down the Metropolitan Cup final." So you got a double whammy, like usually.
Shaking his hand at the loaf and Crofty. Cheers for that.
I wanted to tell him he was going to miss out in the Metro final.
If it was Deegan, that would have been a different story. He would have shook the two of his hands.
But no, it was great tours for all as well. We took crack up there, didn't we?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant, yeah. One of the best tours with that.
That's it. When I left there, it was just
one season again.
Yeah, and then Phoenix was one season. Phoenix for an hour and Ballymun for all.
Oh, where they is season, yeah.
I just didn't find it hard to keep going, or the what to keep going.
Yeah.
As the football was changed as well, as I said earlier on, the change of the guard is going to like different lads coming through.
For like finding the right club, they like, you know what I mean. You tried it, and they just weren't going to be. They just weren't the right fit for you.
Yeah. But that's again going back to like you talking about schoolboys now. The setups weren't there. You don't have the setups weren't there for players coming through. You had to go and literally drag players to these clubs. Like you had to group all your asses and get on the phone and get players. It was a complete rebuild. Like there's managers walk into teams and I'm taking away what Paul Lloyd was doing with Tolka, because he brought the players to get in to get the win cups and that. But like, the base of the squad was there, and
He just needed to add a little bit, and he had the power to come from the orchard.
The only man to do that. There's other managers have been lucky enough to walk into squads where managers have walked away and said, "Look, I'm finished, but that squad will stay. You tank them over and go from there." But like, it just didn't happen for me. The clubs remained there. It was my decision, but the clubs remained there. The squads weren't there, and it was a total rebuild, which is very hard to do.
Definitely, yeah.
And you need to commit that time to it. And it's just the way football was going. Like, this wasn't willing to commit 3 or 4 years to one club to try to get it going. Then the Ballymun thing came along, as I said earlier on, and we gave it a go. Again, when we turned up, and Al O'Reilly had left, there was 6 or 7 first-day players there. So, like, where'd you go?
We go from there, yeah.
And like, again as well, Alan had made a rule with Robbie Farrell, the second team manager. When he went in, he said, but Robbie told me this, he said, we would be separated from you as a trainer. We would do everything on our own. You're the second team manager, you had your own squad, you do your own thing, and I'll do my own thing. I won't be using your players, and I won't be doing this and all, do that. So we go up, and we had 7 first team players at Ballymun. The second team are in the Junior Cup last 16. They're in the Leinster Junior last 16, and they're winning the Saturday League or something. And he's something like 26 base training. And I walk up to the first training session, and I said to Robbie, you give us your best players over here. We're going to train with them, or they're going to train with us. No, that's not the way it goes now. So there was many back and forth with the committee, you know. And like, they were saying, like, we put Jay that in the Junior Cup last 16. And like, I'd be brought enough, and I said to him,
Who's the first team here?
who's the first team?
Yeah.
What did I come in for? To keep the first team in the league. So like, to keep the first team in the league,
Have to sacrifice someone being cup tied.
and I'm going to tell you here now,
Just
when the first,
No, but he would have been. That's the reason why I'm sure Robbie wasn't letting them play down, because
yeah, but when the first team, the Junior Cup is ran different than when I played in it. So Junior Cup, Saturday teams play Saturday teams, and Sunday teams play Sunday teams for so many rounds. So your Saturday team can get the quarterfinals of a Junior Cup without playing a first team
on Sunday, yeah.
of the whole country.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make sense? Like, you either the best of the best play each other. You could have the 2 favourites play each other in a last 16 before the Saturday teams get put into it.
yeah,
So we was trying to explain that to Robbie. He says, Saturday team stop winning the Junior Cup very seldom. Cherry Orchard done it years ago. I think 1 or 10 done it, but regularly train comes to the top.
Yeah.
And it's usually St. Michael's, Fairview Rangers or whoever. But it won't be a Saturday team. But they couldn't get that through to them. But it took till they got beaten in the Junior Cups. And then they start losing a few players because they were out of the Junior Cups. That a few of the players there got decided, right, we are Ballymun lads, and we will give you a dig out. So what that happened then was it made it easier then to get the players to play the first team. But it should have never happened like that. That should never happen.
No, any club.
No, so the Saturday team for me is there as push players on. And players should be pushed themselves on.
Yeah, sometimes you go down, get your form back, improve, and then you can step back up if you have good enough. That's where it should be.
100%. I think if you're injured as a first team player and you're coming back, you should be starting for the second team. But second team managers have to understand that. And it's a hard job to the second team managers, because not only are you going to take their best players, but you're giving them injured players to try to get the fit again. Or maybe you're giving us your squad players who realistically should be good enough to play Saturday team football anyway.
Yeah.
But like some weeks you're struggling, like we were with Ballymun, you'll be taking some of their players, but you wouldn't be giving the players back.
Yeah.
But like, that's the onus is on keeping the Sunday team in the Sunday league.
True. So yeah.
That's to me, that's to be all and end all. Is first teams have to play in the top league. That's the way it should be.
And then the Saturday side will follow, then obviously getting up to the top league of Saturday football as well.
yeah, and the sacrifices have to be made. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, 100%. But look, players have to realise it as well. Players have to push themselves. Players have to want to play at the highest level, because you only have so many years of playing at this level. Like, if you're not good enough for League of Ireland, the next best thing is playing Leicester in.
Same, yeah.
And like, if you want to give it a good pop, well then you have to put the effort in. and give it a good go. If not, there's no reason to play Leicester senior football then. If you're not going to put the ability to play at the highest level you can play at, well then play with your pub teams. Play with your mates, with the pub teams, and enjoy your football at that level. But don't start complaining down the line saying, do you was better than him? I could have done that.
Want to waste my career, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, a lot of players, you walk into a pub and you say to Dylan, don't be a nearly player. Because you always walk in and say, see him, he nearly went away, he nearly done this, he nearly done that.
That's my brother said, Saxton 10, sitting on a high stool, 10.
There's loads of them. Loads of players out there like that. There's only one team come in the league every year, and there's only so many players go to England and make it. There's hundreds go away, thousands. But there's only a few that you can pinpoint and say, you had it right straight away. Or like, done anything at all.
Yeah.
Most of the youngsters that go away to England, you'll find, don't even play Leicester senior football. They'll come back and play Mickey Mouse football.
Just no pressure on them, isn't it?
It's just,
they
lose that desire because they got a kick in the bollocks when they went away and it didn't work out.
It's a kick in the bollocks when they come back, yeah.
That you say, you never get that boost for it again. They lose the desire to play football.
We go into our questions now, will we?
What are the questions,
You weren't expecting these, Jay, were you not?
You haven't listened to a whole lot of a podcast then?
No. I think we're too busy.
Delete.
Oh, here we go, Jay.
Any regrets?
I can't say I have, no. No, sure. Look, I loved my time with Tolka. I enjoyed my time with the clubs I managed, but Tolka was my club as a schoolboy, and no, I wouldn't have left. Bad chance to leave, but no, I've no regrets because I met great people. I have great friends still that I played with and all, so no, I've no regrets, no.
So, best player you played with?
Best player I played with, without like, back when I played, like, as in like, in my 20s and all. So I'm not talking about, like, I played with Dean and Nobody Woody and all later on and all that.
Yeah.
But Spike McCormick, brilliant player.
With Tolka?
He was with Tolka, yeah. He went to Arsenal as a schoolboy. Could you want?
Is he from? Where's he from?
No, he's from, I think around Edenmore or
Is he? Yeah.
Paul's Artane or something like that.
Good player, yeah.
Do you have a good career in amateur football?
Yeah, he was well known and he was playing, but you could never get captain at him because
He played away, yeah.
Played away and all, but his son plays for Wartwood, League One as well, but smashing power.
Your best manager?
I'd say Mick McBride, because we won the league with him, the senior Division 1, so I'd say him. And he made me captain as well, so give him applaud.
Best club?
Has to be Tolka, doesn't it? Look, I'm from Ballymoon and I love what Ballymoon have done for the community, and I've seen everything they won over the years now, and they're a great club to involve in the whole lot. But Tolka was my heart, so that's my Tolka.
Your best friend in football?
I'd say John Hand, even though I haven't talked to him in a while.
Is he managing?
No, he's gone out Howard Farm.
Yeah.
But like during that time, I suppose Panda and Robbie, but Robbie left the club and all, but Panda was my captain at the time as well, and we came drinking buddies with him as well, so Panda was great track.
Hardest player you played against?
It's hard about this. Trying to think. There was a few on the AUL who were very good. Kevin's team was very good. I'd say the hardest player I marked, most awkward player, not hard as in like he's just most skillful, was Jelly Lynch, John Chandler's best mate. When he played with Kevin's back, and him was a hard day's work.
Was he, yeah?
Your favourite memory?
Well, playing at Wembley was unreal. That was unreal. But just
what year was that?
2 years, not quite knocked down. Last game, yeah, but everyone was Wembley.
We were still in the AUL, so we were still in the AUL at the time. But it's probably, even though we got beaten in the game, scored against Fairview Rangers in the semi-finals.
Didn't see.
One hand didn't see. She's no memory of it.
She's no memory of your favourite memory.
Players that didn't fulfil their potential.
Well, you was the best mate, didn't fulfil it. Barber, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Dean had more than to thank as well. So I'd say Dean had more to give.
You could have set off now or stayed in England a bit more. Do you think?
Could have given it another go with another couple of months or whatever. He got offered half a season to stay, but he didn't give it a go. But even when he came back to the League of Ireland, he was a sub a lot with the clubs he went to. Now I know he's doing very well, but say Barbara and Dean, yeah, could have done more. Could have given more.
Definitely.
Your best 11.
I was thinking about this earlier, because Dylan told me he was asking me this question, but truthfully, it'd be very hard and very bad to pick 11 players out of like 4 teams you manage. You're very bad on players because there's so many out there. Like, if you look at, just put it this way, if I said to you as well, pick 2 players out of set midfield of Crockett, Carlo, Marzi, Naylor, Ray Wheelahan, Garrett Logan, Peter Rogers.
Yeah, good luck, yeah.
Name 11. I like 2 players out of that. 7 for.
Sounds like he's sitting on the fence here, Dad.
Well, I don't.
I remember going down to watch Tolka, and obviously I didn't play with him, and you'd look across and you'd say who's playing in the midfield today, and you'd see Peter Rogers out left, Crockett in the middle, Ray Wheelahan in the middle, Naylor left wing. You'd be going, they're all centre midfielders. Like, it hasn't, you had to play, you had playing.
Gareth Logan, yes.
And he,
Some
Gareth Logan was some player. Yeah. Some player, like he came down knowing what was the centre midfield. And one player that I didn't even mention there is Maraha. Do you remember Maraha?
Maraha, yeah.
Maraha was smashing player.
Yeah.
Maraha left us and went to Mount Merriam with.
And the few quid came, yeah.
Few quid. But Maraha was a brilliant player. He couldn't do anything. But Margie, for me, as a captain and midfielder, was brilliant.
Could you pick one best 11 of players you played with? Wouldn't be fair either.
Well, it's not that it wouldn't be fair. I couldn't remember the one. Yeah.
Or about the best 11 you've drank with in the quarry?
There's the
goes Camden.
Nelson's one on there now. We'll give Nelson the armband. Yeah.
No, we leave that with you then, Jay. Yeah, that's fair.
I was talking to
That's fair.
the best 11 I had in play was the 11 with Tolka.
Is there anything we didn't touch on there that you'd like to get out there?
Oh, well, look, it's probably a great Gordon as well with the international thing, the international set. When we talk about the intermediate thing, I should have said it out there. And this is not a gripe on Jerry Smith or whatever. But I always thought that, as you said about the intermediate teams or the 8 representative teams, the international thing is a bit like that. Now, although Jerry wasn't involved with a team, I just thought players shouldn't have got 50 or more caps or 60 caps. Or those blokes out there, like, not only was he was the best centre half in the league, in the league,
the country,
yeah, for a few years before he even got recognised, and there was a bloke playing centre half with one knee,
yeah,
Chalky,
getting more caps. So like, that didn't make sense to me. Like, it probably is a bit of a gripe, but like, also I thought the international team for me was brought in because back in the day, some smart head come up with it in a community meeting that there's players, the nearly players that we spoke about, the nearly players that didn't get capped ever. Would it be nice for them to have a cap to show their grandchildren and all that?
At an amateur level, yeah.
Look, I still got an oil cap, didn't I? Even though there's only one or 2, but I still got one.
Yeah.
It would have been nice for that to happen to a lot more players than it happened to, because there were so many players getting 50 and 60 and 70 caps. I'm not saying that they weren't the best players around, but those players on par with them that could have went in, done the same job, but got a couple of caps. And I also think that Jerry should have been stepping aside for the likes of Peter Lennon, Martin Loughlin, Fairview Rangers manager, won 5 junior cups. Like, there's other country managers, Avondale's manager. Like, all across Ireland, these blokes deserve recognition as much as the next man.
Yeah.
So, why was that never put out there? Why was that, like, the international team never offered to them?
The jobs for the boys would say, yeah.
I'm sorry for cutting across.
No,
I know Jerry done a great job, and it took him years as well to get to where he wanted to get. But he was still left there. Where, to me, there was blokes, again, retired. Martin Loughlin's of this world again, and he says Peter Lennon and OB, fucking there's Wilkes.
Yeah.
There's loads of them that deserved the chance and would have jumped at the chance to manage their country. Even for the year. Even for 1 year. Or whatever competition goes around, one competition. And the same goes, I think, by the representatives. It all should be swapped around. And you shouldn't be affiliated with him. So that's probably a gripe I have, but I thought more players could have got recognised with junior caps rather than blokes getting 40, 50, 60 caps.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
How do you think it would work, Jay? Say, for instance, if they did change it up for something like that, and, you know, if taking somebody away from, say, their profession to travel the country, you know, I obviously, Jerry Smith was, that was his job. He worked for the FAI, so
Yeah.
he was obviously able to be able to travel down to Cork or to be able to do this and allowed to, like, so say if, I don't know, Pete Lennon gets it, he probably works for himself or works for somebody else, or do you think it's harder, or do you think FAI come and employ him for the year and let him do that? Let him take a year break if he can, and let him try something like that.
Maybe so, but again, when Peter Lennon or the likes retired from football, you're probably retired from work as well. Like, I'm not saying you have to be a young man to do it, but it's up to them if you wanted it. But at least if you got the offer.
Exactly, yeah.
Players, you know what I mean? If you were offered the job and you turn it down, well, then that's on you. You can never say, when I got a chance to manage Ireland.
We can't say it's...
Because
Yeah, they don't get that chance. Players get that chance to get a
You can't say it wasn't a fair process. If it's a fair process, you get offered a job, really don't want it or can't do it, whatever. But at least it is a fair process where they're handpicking who they want. And he's let run for 15. How many years was he actually there?
Who, Jerry Smith?
Yeah.
20 years. No.
yeah. That's not on him.
I'm not saying on him, but still.
No, in fairness to Jerry, if you, I don't know whether you probably didn't listen to his podcast, he transformed the whole way of how the international setup came. Because they only used to do like one game a year or one game every 2 years or something, something stupid like
that's because that's the way it was brought in. That was brought in for players just to get recognition, to get a cap or two. It was never brought in to get so many
50 pounds, yeah.
You know what I mean? So and it had to be. Don't tell me like that. There's not players that's on his 60th cap. You're not getting any older. So it's not younger players coming through. And this act of players playing 5 minutes for fucking balls, 21s.
That was bollocks.
And he can't play.
Yeah.
The Carlo missed out with caps.
Yeah.
And Carlos Celeste played in the European football. He missed out with caps because he played for Bowles in the Leicester Senior Cup.
Madness, isn't it?
Like, there's some rules need to be changed. And I think that's one of them.
I think they've obviously done something now, where have they? Where they give a little bit of leeway now, because there's a few players have been able that played a bit of League of Ireland or were away that are able to get caps, but it's certain.
There's two. It's not two. There's an amateurs and there's a
medium.
the medium or something.
That's something like that. Yeah.
That should go. Can you hear it all like that?
We'll keep that for part 2.
Don't want part tips up this. I want to get never to go up your chest. That's it. Don't have boosted.
That goal against Fairview was the main one, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Beforehand.
I'm going to tell Anne about that now.
Cheers, that Jay.
Thanks, Jerry. That's all.
Great to talk.